feeble-minded, never taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be, making the most painful answers. Tell me, is this what you made me?
We are live.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We went live before Diamondback realized it. That's being the pro that I am, ready to go. So we are ready to go. We're going to talk about NHL, the NBA, college basketball. We'll talk about college football, of course, the NFL. And get to all of that. Meanwhile, you guys want to write in comments about my ugly sweater that I'm wearing. Check that out. And we'll get comments on all that. We do have live games during the show tonight. We've got a bowl game between USF and Marshall. The show goes on, and also the Columbus Blue Jackets play tonight. So the Blue Jackets play against the Devils. That game is starting very shortly here. So we'll be able to give you updates on that as the show unfolds. But we're excited to be here. Diamondback, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah. Had a good weekend ready for the holiday?
Yeah. Just been busy. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, I guess stuff to pick up tonight, and later on in the week, stuff delivered to the house, and still got things coming in. So
we're both echoing. Great.
And Braden says hi, Braden. Nice to have my son watching the show tonight. So that's a good thing. Maybe someday we'll have him on. A couple years. No, just kidding. But anyway, so
how's that sound?
Let's get into Ohio news. Talk about the Ohio teams. We already mentioned the CBJ and play tonight against the Devils. Right now the Blue Jackets are in second place in the Metropolitan Division. They are exactly 4 points behind the Capitals going into the night. So they can start catching up with caps, although being in the second place is not a bad thing. We'll break down how the NHL playoffs work. To the Ducks 2-1 in overtime. And against the Golden Knights, on the 17th, they won 1-0. So they had a pretty good week there overall. That game was in overtime that they lost, so they'd get a point for that. So in the last week, they picked up 5 points. That's not bad. Not a bad week at all.
How's that, Killer?
So, of course, today they play the Kings. Excuse me, the Devils. I've still got Kings on my mind from last week and the hate that I had towards them the entire show. And nonetheless, tonight they play the Devils, and then on the 22nd they're at the Flyers, and the 23rd they are at the Devils.
Awesome.
So, yeah, home and home they're against the Devils. Yeah. Guess they'll go there on the 23rd, and then they'll take a little break over Christmas and get back at it.
Always good, always good.
So
I think I've just figured out our sound issues for tonight.
Okay.
So
it's good to know.
You can actually move your mic off to the side because your mic is dead.
My mic is dead, so we're basically using that mic.
That mic, yep. That mic's picking us both up, though.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure my friends on Facebook
the echo just stopped, so there we go. We'll just go with that, and I'll figure out the mic because I did do some changes. I got to put them obviously put the changes back.
Yeah, obviously. So that'll give you something to do fun over the next week.
Before you get into it, why don't you go ahead and give the channels that we are on right now, and say your channel for we'll have the show posted at a later date.
Right. So right now we are streaming live on lms.diamondback.
Correct.
And tomorrow we'll be on Iconic Drew about 24 hours from now.
About 24.
Not the Iconic Drew. Iconic Drew. And also right now we're on my Facebook page. Had people popping in and out on there already. So that's a good thing.
Your Facebook page, if you want to actually see, right now you just see a green screen behind him. If you want to see the production, actual production of the green, go to the lms.diamondback. You'll actually see that.
Right now we have the skyline of Columbus, Ohio behind us. So, and maybe because we're talking about Ohio.
Correct.
It's a good thing.
Well, it's not the skyline of Ohio. It's the skyline of Columbus.
That's why I said Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, Columbus.
Diamondback,
I did not hear you say
start
Columbus.
listening now, or
no?
I mean, we get the
show
show
car
going.
key in my ear.
2 minutes into the show and he's not listening already.
What?
Exactly. He's been like that for 20 years, folks. So it's all good, though. Well, actually, sometimes it's me that doesn't listen. Anyhow, so anyway, yeah, we got a big show for you tonight. We just talked about the CBJ. They should be getting underway here any moment against the Devils, and we'll give updates on that game as the night unfolds. And of course, we got the bowl game coming up that we picked differently. Big points on that game, based on the current standings, which we'll get to here in a few moments. Iconic Drew could use a win tonight, so I'm a little bit behind you at the moment.
Are you?
Yeah. Have you not looked at the math yet?
I did not update Tuesday's game, so obviously Tuesday's game I won.
And the you did. And the Blue Jackets game is underway. No score, obviously. 0-0 as we start. So that game will be going, and we'll update that as the night goes on, of course. And we don't have pro football tonight to look at, but we do have college football to watch while we're here. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's talk about one of the other pro teams in the state of Ohio that's currently playing, not well, but the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are currently 8-24 in the standings. If you haven't heard, LeBron James did go to L.A. He's now playing for the Lakers.
Really?
If you heard that or not, Diamondback. But yeah, he's gone. He is at L.A. playing for the Lakers, and the Cavs are 8-24. In the last week, they lost on the 14th against the Bucks, 114-102. Then on the 16th, they lost to the 76ers, 128-105. That's a shutout for you, AP. And then they did win on the 18th at the Pacers, 92-91. They won a game on the road. And then they lost at the Hornets, 110-99. This next week, on the 21st, they will go to the Raptors. Then they will play the Bulls on the 23rd. And then they will go to the Grizzlies on the 26th. So, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the Cavs at all this year. Diamondback, I know you're not a huge NBA fan.
Not a huge, big NBA fan.
And from what I'm hearing about them, it's just a matter of getting another star in and get the chemistry back going and all of that type of thing for the Cavs to turn around. The good news right now is if you haven't been to a National Basketball Association game yet, and I have not, if you have not been to an NBA game yet, Cleveland may be a good place to go this year. Plenty of tickets available. Plenty of good seats ready for you. So you go see a game. Welcome to the show, Dave. And we've already updated the CBJ. Now we're talking about the Cavs and updating them a little bit as far as that is concerned. Right now, let's jump into the OSU men's basketball team.
OSU men's? Okay.
They are 10-1. Playing awesome this year. 10-1. On the 15th, they beat Bucknell 73-71. Closer game than most people would have thought, but they still pulled it off at the end. They still won the game. Then on the 18th, they won against Youngstown State, 75-56. In this game right here, Ohio State was behind at halftime to Youngstown State by 3 points. They turned it on in the second half and turned things around. They just got done with finals. They might not have been totally into the game at that point. They were no excuses here, but they were playing an inferior opponent. And they probably didn't really think too much of them.
Once again, a case of all we got to do is put the uniform on and we win.
Right. And it doesn't work that way. No. And of course, Jim Trussell, former OSU coach, is now the Youngstown State president. So he was in attendance at the game,
all right,
the other night and got a nice round of applause from the Ohio State fans.
Well, that's good.
In fact, the standing ovation. I mean, he was a great coach here at Ohio State. Let's be honest.
Well, he did a lot. He turned the program around from a 9-3 program to winning a national title himself, as well as trying to go for 2 other ones.
Right.
So
exactly.
I mean, he's done a lot for this for the OSU fan base, as well as OSU.
Well, and he of course is the coach that I knew when he was here. Because he went to our church at Northwest United Methodist. Free plug for NWUMC there, the church on the hill. But Coach Trussell went there, and every time I talk about Coach Trussell, I got to tell this funny story real quick. Spencer was about 4 or 5 years old, and as is the custom at the outdoor service at NWUMC, we stand in a circle after the service to have communion. Well, Spencer got away from me that particular day, and he ran right to Coach, gave him a big hug. So I said to Coach afterwards, I said, you can sign him now if you want to. You can sign him right now if you want to. So
nice.
I thought that was pretty funny. And, but he ran right to him. The OSU women, on the other hand, not having as good a season at this point. They are still struggling.
For them, is it?
No, they're usually really, really good. They are now 4-4 on the year at this point. Now, they did win on the 16th against Florida 46-41 in a game where offense was optional. But they won nonetheless, 46-41. That's the important part. But they lost today in a game that was on this afternoon against Butler. They lost 66-53. And their next game is at Virginia Tech on the 21st. I forgot to mention when the next Ohio State game is for the men. That is this Saturday against UCLA. That's a game at 3 o'clock on CBS. So we can all check that game out. 3 o'clock on CBS on Saturday, the men, OSU men play UCLA. This should be a pretty big game.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, the women, their next game is at Virginia Tech on the 21st. Hopefully they start getting things turned around, and you're right, Diamondback. They're usually very competitive, and they normally are
they're top 25, top 10,
and they usually make the Sweet 16 at bare minimum.
Right.
In the tournament.
I mean, they are always always in the mix.
I don't know if it's a matter of they had some players graduate and haven't replaced it, or what's exactly happened, and they've played some tough competition too along the way. They did play UConn. That's usually a loss.
Well, that's an expected loss, but
right.
I'm sure they've had some. And don't take this the wrong way, Ohio State fans. They got some cupcake teams to help them
Yeah.
tweak some things.
That's typical in basketball.
Yeah, and that's
very
that's,
typical
I'm
in college basketball.
I'm not
They all
saying,
do this.
I'm not saying anything. They all do it.
Right.
In both sports or in all sports, they set those cupcakes so that they can actually get better. So they can go ahead and say, okay, let's let some of our younger players play, and it gives them that chance to develop. But they're not having that type of success from what I'm seeing.
Right, and we have an update in this CBJ game. We need to get a sound effect with like a goal scored or something like that.
I will work on it.
And I think that would be cool, especially when it's the CBJ that scored it. And that is the case here. The Jackets are now up 1-0 with 15:43 to go against the Devils in the first period. So we're underway there. Go Jackets, keep winning. Bring that baby home tonight and get that victory. So Jackets up 1-0. And speaking of hockey, let's talk about the OSU men's hockey team.
Okay, let's talk.
They're next on the list here. They are 9-4-3 overall. They had no games last week. Their next games are the 28th and 29th at home against Mercyhurst. And let me tell you, folks, if you have not taken in a college hockey game, that is something you need to do. It is a blast. A lot of fun. And it's cheap entertainment. It's a lot, I don't want to say it's cheaper than going to a Jackets game, but it is. It's a little bit less, and it's good entertainment. So everybody should check it out. Good chance to see some hockey. Plus the helmets they wear look exactly like the football helmets that the team wears. So that's a really cool factor there as far as that goes. But so Diamondback, did you hear about Justin Fields from Georgia?
Dad's here, and he's looking at leaving, and heard some of the possible teams. So that's going to put a little bit of a dilemma up here if it's anywhat true for up here.
Right, exactly, and we're going to talk about that. But first we need to talk about why he's transferring, of course. He is the backup quarterback at Georgia, and so that means he's behind Fromm. Sorry. He's behind Fromm and trying to work behind that, but on top of that, apparently he got called a racial slur about a month or so ago by a baseball player at Georgia.
See, I mean, I totally get it. It shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be said. It shouldn't do that. But this is the type of lifestyle they have entered. They're going to have to get, not used to it is not the word I'm looking for. They're going to have to get, just put it in the back of their mind. Yes, it should not be said. And period. I'm not defending the guy that did the racial slur.
Well, of course not, yeah.
I'm just saying he's got to get a little bit thicker skin.
But it's like right. It's like we've talked about before, Diamondback, in the time that we've known each other. In the South, it can be, and I don't want to be too political here, but in the South, it can be kind of somewhat of an accepted part of life.
Right.
Because there's still a lot of people down there that haven't given up.
They still use the word boy. And it's not in a kind way.
Right.
It really isn't. But the kids out of the South do seem developed. Now I don't know where this Justin Fields is from. I have not looked that up. But they have developed. They do develop a little bit thicker skin down there. So they put up with it. They shouldn't, but they put up with it.
We're getting a call.
Let's see what we have here.
Hello, caller.
Hey, Andy, it's Lewis. How you doing, man?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, first of all, I'm calling to wish you and your main man there happy holidays.
Well, okay. Thank you. You as well.
And see what's going on with you. What you talking about tonight? I just got home and just tuned in.
Okay. Well, of course, we're going to cover the bowl games that have happened up to this point.
Okay.
We've talked about the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've talked about the Cavs. We're currently talking about the player Justin Fields down in Georgia. I'm sure you heard about this story that he's thinking about transferring.
Yeah.
And
Ohio State's on his list along with Oklahoma and I think another school too.
Lewis.
So,
Okay.
So, yeah, Ohio State is one of the schools he's talking about. He's looking at getting being allowed to play next fall because of the racial slur that he was called. Let me ask you, Lewis, how,
okay.
as an African American male here in America, how do you feel about the fact that this happened and that this is his reason for trying to get this eligibility?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm going to be honest. You went to the University of Georgia, and unfortunately, I mean, I'm sorry, but down in the Mason, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that a lot.
Yes.
I think you have to be. I'm not saying that it's okay, because it's not. I mean, honestly, that's one word I wish, if I had my wish, we would get away from. But it is what it is. You go down there, and unfortunately, you're going to be subjected to do something. Columbus too, by the way. So, I mean, it's not something. I think sometimes, I know we've tried to go politically correct on some things, but I think also too, I mean, I will never condone the use of that word.
Right, of
But
course.
I will say you will hear it, unfortunately. I mean, especially, unfortunately these days, being an African American player like that, you will hear it, especially in the context down there. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, is that a good reason to transfer? I mean,
Hi, Andy. Hey, Maria.
I mean, it's not up to me to
Maria.
say, because I know some people have just like with any slur, some people will have a tolerance for it, and they'll laugh and let it go.
They develop a thicker skin, is I think what you're looking for there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, some people will laugh and let it go, and some people, hey, they're sensitive to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it just, I don't have the answers for that.
Yeah.
As a kid,
Well, I don't want to turn this into too much of a.
Somebody else would be. So
Yeah.
we are different. So
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
yeah. I mean, I believe that we're becoming a society of, at least here in America, we're becoming a society of my feelings are hurt too much. Unfortunately.
Yeah. We are.
And I'm not saying this is not something that should be downplayed and, oh my God, just get over it. I'm just saying that we are really not becoming that thicker skinned people. There's not a place for that word in this in society today, nor there should have ever been. But I'm just I think you understand where I'm going with my point. And it's just we need to just kind of grow up as a society in general.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we
Hey,
have
Maria.
work to do as far as race relations go.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
just- right.
everybody thinks that we're, it's the 21st century, and people say, don't say racist things anymore because we've supposedly outgrown that or advanced enough as society. And I can tell you, that's not true.
No, I'm
It's still out there. There's still people out there that think like that will look at myself or other African Americans and think, yep, that's you. It's not right. It's not fair. I mean, but how do you shift the thinking? How do you shift the dynamic? Because I'm, me and Andy's been friends for years, and I looked at him as a friend. I didn't look at his color.
Right.
I looked at it as a man. He's treated me the way I wanted to be treated, and I think I've treated him the way we be treated, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Right.
Judge me for, like Martin Luther King said, judge me for my character, not the color of my skin.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you knew 5-6 minutes after we met that I'm not a racist person, and I've never been. My mom and dad raised me to look at to get to know a person and then decide if you don't like them.
Yeah.
You know, based on their character.
I'm not going to sit there. There are black folks that are jerks, just like there are white folks that are jerks.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all, you know, no color. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, brown. I mean, there's good folks. There's not so good folks.
Yep.
And that's the way I look at it. Like you said, you know, I treat people how they treat me. If you're good to me, I'll be good to you. If you're a jerk to me, you'll get, you know, you get what you put out.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. You know, it's, you know, don't judge the book by the cover, as they always say, and the golden and as you said, lead by example of the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
I definitely don't want to turn this into a political show, but with this issue happening to this person, no. It was ideal that you called in right at this moment, because you have that other perspective of this issue that I'll never completely understand.
Yeah.
Because I'll never know what that means.
Neither one of us will understand what it really
and some people
means.
Will just gloss it over, but like I said, you know, walk them. You know, you're not capable of walking shoes any more than I am.
Hey.
But when
What's up,
things
Ben?
like this happen, we as a society can't just gloss it over and say, "Oh well, you know, it just happened," or get over it. I mean, we have issues. Unfortunately, in society, we need to be addressed. And racial issues are up there.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
It puts us at odds with each other. When honestly, we should be working together, because the United States was made up of everybody, black, white, yellow, brown. We all helped build this country and make it the great country that it is.
Absolutely.
And the only way it's going to stay great is that we got to start working together again rather than working against each other.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And let's think about this. You had mentioned earlier that Ohio State is one of the places that he's thinking about coming. Mm-hmm. If he comes to Ohio State, he's going to have Tate Martell and Matthew Baldwin to compete with.
Right.
How do we feel that?
And Dwayne hasn't announced that he's leaving.
Right.
And I like Tate. I think he could play.
Yeah.
And you know, and I don't want to see them get into another Joe Burrow situation where he transfers out.
Right. And the situation too is Ryan Day from what we're
shot at playing time.
Right. From what we're hearing about Coach Day, he likes a quarterback like Haskins, who Diamondback just pointed out that's true. Haskins has not said he's going pro yet. I think we'll all be surprised if he doesn't.
I think so. I
mean, he's a top 10.
I think he's, you know, with Urban Meyer leaving, it'll be perfect for him.
I think the Raiders are the team that are thinking about drafting him.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Giants because him and Saquon Barkley.
Can you imagine Odell Beckham? I like that. And as a Cowboy fan, how do you feel about that?
As a Dallas fan, I would hate to face that the next 10 years.
Yeah, for 2 times a year.
But that division definitely would get better with Haskins in it.
Yeah. Well, Lewis, I am going to have to let you go here. We got to wrap this segment up, but I do want to thank you for.
I wanted to call in, wish y'all happy holidays, and like I said,
thanks, Lewis.
What you're doing, and you know, I'll call back next week if you're doing a show next week, right?
Should be. Yeah,
we're planning on it.
Okay, well, I'll be in touch, and like I said, it's always a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. And like I said, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, Lewis.
Appreciate it.
Like I said, I mean, this is what I want to do for a living. So if you got any suggestions or anything you want to tell me, just IM me or let me know, and I'm always working to try to improve. You know, because I want to be where I want to be, and that's on a radio station. So definitely anything you can. I've always taken your advice and listened to what you had to say. So, let's say I was taking your advice 90% of the time at least. Think big.
Dream big, man.
Yep, that's what you got to do in this business. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So,
on that note, I'll let you go.
All right. Thank you,
Enjoy.
Lewis.
Holidays, and I'll talk at y'all later.
All right, have a good night and a great holiday, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
You too, man.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. So that was one of my former roommates.
Okay.
Lewis, and lived with him and his brother Kurt. and Kurt is still a police officer here in Columbus.
Awesome.
So, great guys, and of course, like he said, Lewis and I go way back. I think I met him shortly after I met you. He worked at BMW as well, but he worked third shift, and you might not have seen him.
Oh, I was pretty much in and out as quick as I could get out.
Yeah, you didn't stay there very long.
To clean. At that time, I was just basically a custodian.
Right. Yeah, and I think he came in later, or just was in a different area, and you guys just never met.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I met you guys at about the same time, as far as that goes.
Awesome.
So anyhow, definitely appreciate his viewpoint on that, because like I said, Lewis lives it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We don't live it.
Well, we don't. It's not in our face as much.
Yeah.
I mean, we live it, but we're doing our part to get rid of it.
Right, and that's the key. And like I said before, I don't want to turn this into a political show. This is a sports opinion show. However, politics and things like this do cross over into the sports world because we live in the world. And
that's when we have to talk about it and give our opinion about it.
Right, exactly. We'll wait and see where Justin Fields transfers to. I wish him nothing but luck. I think if he comes to Ohio State, he's going to have to compete, because that's tough two guys to compete against.
Yeah.
And like you said, Haskins could still come back.
We
don't think he will. My opinion is he won't.
No.
But
I think he's just trying to keep the distractions to a minimum. And that would be very big of him, in my opinion, there, because he can make it all about him.
Yeah.
And go, I'm going to the draft, so I'm not playing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of in fact, from what I've seen, the Ohio State seniors are playing because of Urban Meyer's last game.
Correct.
So as we go to break, when we come back from the break, we will talk about the college bowl games that have already been played. We'll update the points to this point. Not to give too much away, but Diamondback doing better than the iconic Drew up to this moment. That's okay. I got plenty of time to catch up with you, and I'm not too far behind, if my math is right. So we come back, we will talk about the college games. The college bowl games that have been played up to this point, give the scores of those, look at them, and see exactly what's going on with all of that. And also, of course, we'll keep you updated on the CBJ, who, by the way, the Jackets are currently still ahead 1-0 with 7:27 to go in the first. So we will keep that updated for you, and we got a bowl game to keep you updated at after 8 o'clock. So we'll be doing that as well. We'll be right back with Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
Never reminded, never taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be, making emotions painful and so tell me, is this what you made me? You
Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show presented by the Ferocious Money Productions Presents. And we are coming to you live from the upper portion of Diamondback's basement.
Yes, the very top.
It's the very top.
Top of the towers of my basement.
Diamondback's basement.
Yes.
Yes, that's where we are.
How's it going, Reflex chiming in?
So, we update the Diamondback. The Columbus Blue Jackets score still 1-0 with 5 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the first.
We're talking Columbus, right? Real quick.
Columbus Blue
Columbus
Jackets.
Gotta have that there.
Yeah, Columbus Blue Jackets. And next year, we get to talk about the Columbus Crew still.
Right. The big window behind us here.
Speaking of hashtag Save the Crew, phone line 614-996-8389. I want to thank Lewis again for calling in.
Lewis, very good.
His timing could not have been better.
Yep.
Based on the topic. We appreciate that. Him and I have had a zillion conversations about that issue over the years, and been very enlightening to have him as a friend. Learned a lot from him.
Sweet.
So, when it comes to that issue, very true stuff. But anyway, on to college football. We're going to talk about the scores, update what we're doing, we'll update our points. If you joined us last week, we picked all the college bowl games, and we ranked them based on our confidence.
Yes.
And therefore, if your team wins the one you picked, whatever points you put on them, you get.
Yeah, that's what you get. And
if you don't, you lose. Those points are gone.
Yes, and you have to use every point from 1 to 39 because there's 39 games.
So we agreed on 39.
Yeah.
Some of these people at ESPN were picking 40, 41 games because they added that early game on Saturday last weekend.
Saturday game. I was wondering on that. I mean, because
we didn't talk about it ahead
We
of
never
time.
talked about it. We actually picked the same games.
That's amazing.
And we've done that every time. You know,
Yeah.
we've never, every time that we've done it in the past.
So Maria Spence is weighing in. She sits next to me at work. She's a big meat chicken fan, and she just said, "Go blue." So go blue. I've told her, and I'll say this on the air, Maria, if she quits smoking, I'll quit picking on meat chicken in front of her.
Oh.
Because Anyway, so we'll see if she does. And Joe Black's in. Hi, Andy. Hey, Joe, how's it going? What's wrong with your Bengals this year, buddy? We'll talk about that more later, although they did win last week. So, good for them.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, good to see that the Ohio teams did win in pro football. So
and we'll get to that. It's a battle for Ohio this year, too.
Battle for Ohio, yes. And from what I was seeing, from what I'm getting, is Browns went out. They might actually make it in. So we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in the NFL.
So I don't have anything for the college in front of me, so I'm kind of filling in space while you cough your head off.
In the Auto Nation Bowl, Tulane beats Louisville 41-24. We both took Louisville. What do we know? Not Louisville, Lafayette. We both took Lafayette. We'd never take Louisville. Then they lost 41-24. Utah State crushes North Texas in the New Mexico Bowl, 52-13.
Shoot, I wish I had you actually have my spreadsheets over there on a thumb drive in that computer, so if you could actually kick me that might actually help me out a little bit. Yes, both of us took
I do have
Lafayette
stats on
in there, and so I do believe you're back.
I do have stats in both games. In the Tulane game, Darius Bradwell, 35 carries for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive. And then for Utah State, Jordan Love, 21 of 43 for 159 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So some pretty big stats there on both of those games. And folks, I apologize for the coughing. I'm getting over some allergy situations and working through that, so I do apologize for that. Trying not to cough very much. Those of you who are on my Facebook page that I work with, you know how I've been at work all week. I'm also not working at Penny's anymore, so that dust is getting out of my system as well from there.
That's probably what's causing a
the
lot
pet
of this,
dander
because
is a
you
big
haven't.
issue too. But
Yeah, so that's what I was worried about there for a second there. But as I said, our dog's a one of those dogs that don't.
So in the Las Vegas Bowl, now here's a game I won. I finally get some points. The first one to score points in the matchups this year. And Fresno State wins 31-20 over Arizona State. I, of course, took Fresno State. Diamondback took Arizona State. And that got me 21 points. In that game for Fresno State, Ronnie Rivers had 24 carries for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow. Over 200 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in the same game. That's impressive. And I mean, they scored 31 points. So, wow, he had 14 of them though. Then Diamondback decides to get some points on the board.
Yep.
As in the Carmella Bowl, one of my favorite bowl games, the Carmella Bowl. I took Eastern Michigan. He took Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern squeaks out a win, 23-21. Diamondback grabs 24 big points in that game.
Yes.
And I lost 5. So I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in directional Michigan. In this case, Eastern Michigan.
It's about one of the few times you'll see me root for a Georgia team.
Yeah, right. Georgia Southern. So, in the next game, we both liked Appalachian State. They did not disappoint.
No, they did not.
Okay, Maria, talk to you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. So, they did not disappoint. Appalachian State won 45-13. Going back to the Georgia Southern game for a minute, though, Tyler Bass kicked a 40-yard winning field goal as time expired to win the game.
Yards.
40 yards.
Well, maybe he can get drafted by the Falcons.
Yeah, or by the Steelers. We could use a kicker as well. Hello, Boswell. So, yeah, and of course, had he missed that, I would have gotten those points. That changes everything. But he did not. He made it, 40-yard field goal. And then for Appalachian State, Zach Thomas went 15-24 for 177 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 INTs. But check these stats out. Xavier Sutton had 8 receptions for 78 yards. Now, that's not a big deal. They had 2 touchdowns. He only caught 78 yards worth of passes, but he caught 2 touchdowns. Wow. That's incredible. Good for him. Good stats there. And, of course, we both took App State, so that was all good. But then we had this game. I really thought Northern Illinois was going to show up more than this. I cannot believe that you won this game, Diamondback. Did you have some secrets I didn't know about, or what? This is pretty amazing here. I took Northern Illinois. He took UAB. They won 37-13. He scores 29 points out of that game. So that was a big win for Diamondback.
Yeah.
To get those points.
And the only thing there is coming out of the state of Alabama, because that University
It's the only
of
reason
Alabama,
you picked them.
Birmingham.
But you picked them and put 29 points on them.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did you pick them because of what state they're out of, you had more confidence in them than you do in Bama in their game upcoming.
Well, I got confidence in Bama. I just don't. I believe in the jinx, and if you go big on a team that you were really supporting, they won't show up.
I get it about jinxes. I think we need to have a segment someday about jinxes as sports fans and where you sit, what you do, certain things you do every game day because you think it helps your team win.
Yeah, because I'm not the typical fan of what you've seen me watch. You came over and watched Super Bowl with me when it was the Falcons and the Patriots, and I'm
you
not
guys
your
let them
typical,
win.
I'm not your typical fan. You know, again, all my friends are looking at me like, "Come on, this is your team. They're up." No, Tom Brady's on film.
Yeah. There's this quarterback named Tom Brady. He still exists, and he good.
Yeah. The moment if he would have got hurt, and I'm not ever wishing anybody to get hurt, I might sit there and scream at kill him, but I'm not literally saying kill him. But if he would have gotten hurt, I probably would have cheered.
Yeah.
Finally said, all right, game in hand. But he never got hurt.
Yeah.
and he made us pay.
And well, losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl is nothing to, we'll get more into the Patriots here in a minute because I got a lot to say about that game, Steelers and Pats from last week. I'm very happy, obviously, about that. But
I'm all for the Pats losing.
We'll get into that later on when we get to the NFL segment. Hate to foreshadow too much, but we're going to talk about that game for sure. With me being a Steeler fan. So, on to the last game, and this is part of the Ohio segment, of course. We both took Ohio U. They did not disappoint against San Diego State, 27-0. Before we get more into that game, though, let's look at the UAB stats, because we started talking about why you took them instead of me giving the stats. Tyler Johnston, 17 of 29 for 373 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 INT.
That's
kidding me?
Amazing.
I mean, this is Dwayne Haskins style stats here. That's what this is. I mean, the guy who should have won the Heisman, Haskins. Those kind of stats. I can't even believe that this kid put up those kind of stats. Amazing. But go Ohio U in the season with a nice win.
And 17 of 29. That's pretty decent there. But the other quarterback didn't do half bad. He just didn't put up as high of numbers. I mean, 22 of 29.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he completed more, but didn't go anywhere. Only 179 yards.
And we have an update on the Blue Jackets. It's the end of the first period, and the Jackets are up 1-0. So the score did not change, but the Jackets are winning. 2 more periods. Let's stick it to the Devils, guys. Keep it going.
We got 4 quarters here. 4 quarters here.
This is hockey.
Oh,
there's only 3. So, and that's for our friends in Canada. He's only joking. We think. We're not sure with Diamondback. Sometimes it's hard to say. Sure.
Yes, I was joking. I know it's 20-minute periods.
20-minute periods.
Which there's 3 of them. Still equals an hour of playing time, just like the 15-minute quarters that are usually in every other sport.
Right.
But no.
1 hour of playing time that takes at least 3.
But Canadians got to do things their own way and have periods.
It is what it is. So Diamondback, we both win that game. Ohio U does not disappoint, 27-0. In that particular game, Nathan Rourke went 10 of 22 for 206 yards, a touchdown and an interception. But those aren't bad stats. They're not horrible. But on top of that, he ran for 2 touchdowns as well.
Did he?
So he threw 1 touchdown and ran for 2. I mean, that's a nice night right there.
Now,
That's a pretty good night.
Did the touchdown he throw? Did he complete it to himself?
No.
No.
That would have been
I'm waiting
awesome.
for that.
Well, it can happen. One of those big defensive linemen jump up and bat the ball back to you, and you run the ball in. That's a touchdown to yourself.
That's going to be a Tua or a Dwayne Haskins or the Murray out of Oklahoma type of thing. It's going to happen. It's just going to boom, bat. Okay, I got some speed and I got a hole here.
Yeah, I'm going to run through it. A touchdown for me. So, all right, that was all the games from this last week. That was the Frisco Bowl, by the way, there for Ohio U with their win over San Diego State. San Diego State got shut out. I didn't think Ohio U was going to win that big.
No.
I'm happy, though. That's a nice win for Ohio U as far as that is concerned. But let's look at where the points are right now. As I kind of foreshadowed earlier, Diamondback is winning right now.
Okay.
Plenty of time left. By my math,
yeah, there's plenty.
By my math, you're up by 21 points on me.
All right.
Diamondback has scored, going into tonight's game, Diamondback has scored 100 points and lost 56 points.
But I believe I've lost more than you've lost.
And the iconic Drew has scored 79 points and given up 53.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, the way I usually score is how much is on the table still. What you've already earned.
Yeah, I'm not doing that math this year.
You don't do that.
Well, I've done it in the past, but I'm not doing it this year. And you are right. I think at this point I have 1, 2, 3 wins, and you have. Well, you have 3 wins as well. No, we both. Wait, I have 1, 2, 3. You have 4. You've won 4 games.
4 because there was a Tuesday game and a Wednesday game.
You're up 4-3 as far as wins are concerned. Not that even matters. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who wins the most games. So, although tonight's game, pretty big, because for tonight's game, folks, it is Marshall at 8-4 versus the University of Southern Florida at 7-5. The iconic Drew has USF, and
which is a 51.2% favorite according to ESPN, by the way.
I have 16 points in the game. The Diamondback has Marshall, and he's got 20 points on the game. It's a big swing game.
It's a big swing game for us.
So basically, if the iconic Drew wins this game, when I'm down 21 right now, I'd be down 5.
You'd be down 5? Oh, wait, I've got 20 on it.
Yeah, you're up 21. If I get to 16 points.
Yeah, but that 20-point loss is huge to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go USF. Yeah. So hopefully we can stick it to you there.
Yeah, this is according to the power index of ESPN, it's dead even. You know, as I said, 51.2% favorite for UCF.
Right.
Or USF.
And speaking of sticking it to you, Paul Feinbaum not being nice to Alabama right now.
No, he's not.
Holy cow! I mean, okay, let me give you a little backstory here on the situation, folks, so you kind of know what I'm talking about, instead of just throwing that out there. Alabama has hired DJ Durkin, the former Maryland head coach,
as a consultant.
We
don't know what he's consulting, what he's doing.
Does it matter?
If he's even got contact with kids in general.
Well, he and just to give him a little backstory on DJ Durkin, he was the head coach at Maryland.
Correct.
A player, unfortunately, died during one of their practices, and there was also found to be things out of control and not running the program in a good way and all that kind of thing, and so he got fired at Maryland this last year.
Which he should have.
Yeah. And so his job at Alabama, and of course we're putting Diamondback on the spot here, folks. As you all know, Diamondback's favorite team is Roll Tide, go Bama.
Right behind.
And so he is working in a consultant-like capacity. Here's what Paul Feinbaum had to say. And we all know my opinion of Paul Feinbaum. If you missed that show, folks, go back and watch that. I go off on Paul Feinbaum when he was talking about Ohio State.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. He says, what could Durkin offer a program like Alabama? He goes on to say, I think it is an absolutely terrible, embarrassing look for Nick Saban. Is this overreaction by Paul Feinbaum, or how are you feeling about this since you're the Bama fan?
I'm seeing this. This isn't just Paul Feinbaum. This is the lovely Homer here on 97.1.
Oh, they're going to have fun with this.
Oh, they did. They did.
Yeah, of course they're going to have fun with it.
And it's understandable. I mean, because, you know, do you really want to do that? Nick Saban's known for this, though. Oh, you need a second chance? I like your style. Now this is what I'm going to ask of you.
How can you like his style?
Well, I'm just saying he likes his style. He's trying to give him another chance and stay within football. Now, as I said, we don't know what he is consulting. Is he consulting, okay, we want you to go look at this recruit. We want your opinion about this recruit. You don't get to talk to the recruit. We don't know if he's talking to recruits or if he's talking to coaches of these recruits or what.
But why would Saban even put himself in a position
I don't know.
where he has to answer this question going into the Final Four? This is not good timing, Diamondback.
Well, as I said, he's hired some questionable ones, and I'm trying to remember the guy that he hired, and Alabama actually said no to Nick Saban.
Whoa.
You don't say no to Nick Saban.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah,
that's
I think it was the SEC that actually said no to Nick Saban on that hire, and I can't remember who that one was. God, I wish I could right off the top of my head. But he's always done this. He's always went out and he's grabbed. I mean, he grabbed Lane Kiffin. And got him a second start. Now, granted, it's a smaller school. Now, DJ Durkin, I don't see him ever coaching again. I really don't.
He probably won't.
He's done. Nobody in the right mind is going to give him a coaching job. And that's the reason I don't have a problem with it as a consultant. Even though, what is he consulting? I do not see him going into somebody's room, into somebody's home and going, yeah, come play for Coach Saban. Yeah, yes, I was the one that killed the, got the player, caused his death, whatever. I don't see him going into somebody's room and into somebody's house and trying to recruit. This
Yeah,
guy
well, it
is
doesn't
a
say
consultant.
anything about recruiting. It's
Right.
a consultant. I'm playing devil's
So,
advocate a little bit here. I mean,
No, and I totally understand it. I mean, and I understand why people are bummed. And Paul Feinbaum, as you have put it, usually has Nick Saban up on a pedestal.
oh yeah,
But any chance he gets, he does knock it out from underneath him. He does knock that out. He likes to do that. He did that to Urban Meyer. Because Urban Meyer was on a pedestal for a long time for him when he was at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment he stopped, boom, it was over. Once he retired. So he had it out for Urban Meyer up here.
Oh yeah, and we've talked about this.
We've talked.
First of all, the fact is that, I mean, it is a fact. ESPN doesn't like Ohio State, number one. Number two, Paul Feinbaum doesn't like the Big Ten in general. And he hates Urban Meyer because Urban Meyer left an SEC program
Right.
to come to Ohio State. I mean, yes, he retired from Florida, took a year off from coaching, and then went to Ohio State. And Paul Feinbaum has hated him ever since. It's like this controversy this last summer. The fact of the matter is, if that had been another coach at another location, this is not something he would have called Nick Saban out about. It takes something like this for Feinbaum to go after Saban.
Yeah. He's went after. This isn't the first time he's went after.
No, I'm not saying that, but it
because
takes something.
he's actually been where, and this I found very comical. Colin Cowherd actually stood up for Nick Saban because Paul Feinbaum said that Saban's done.
Oh.
Yeah, this was like 5-6 years ago, and Colin Cowherd, no, he'll be back.
Yeah, Saban will be done when Saban wants to be done.
Done.
Saban is going to retire from Alabama.
Yes,
Unless something bad happens, if he pulls a Woody Hayes or something like that, and God, we hope he doesn't. But the fact is, if he did something like that, yeah, they'd fire him.
Yeah,
but Nick Saban's going to walk out of Alabama when he wants to, with his head high, with several national championships behind him. We don't know how many more they have in them. They might have another one in them this year.
Well,
So, consultant DJ Durkin or not, they could still win a national championship. And I don't have an extreme problem with this hire, but I do, and I find myself conflicted here because I don't want to agree with Paul Feinbaum. You know how much I went off on him when he was going after Ohio State, but I kind of do. I understand where he's coming from. I get this.
Well,
I mean, he makes a good point.
Makes a damn good point. I mean, you can't deny it. Yes, it is a questionable hire. As a fan, it's a questionable hire. Are you really making this decision?
Is there somebody else, anyone that could have consulted for you doing the same job that didn't have his past?
I know Mac Brown took a job, but
why bring the baggage on when you don't have to? Right before the national championship games, why are you bringing on baggage and having to answer questions about that? This is nothing but a distraction for Nick Saban. Not that he can't handle it.
He can't.
I mean, Nick Saban and Urban Meyer are awesome at handling. Dable Sweeney's good at it too. Yeah, those guys are all good at handling distractions.
Yeah,
usually.
they can handle them.
They don't always do perfect with it, but they can normally handle them.
But yeah, you got to admire though the way Nick does do it, and Dabo's kind of the same way, the way they handle the distractions. I really don't want to talk about it right now. Next.
Yeah.
It's a question you'd like an answer to.
They don't care.
No. Next.
Yeah. But I mean, why even have to worry about the question being asked? And
right.
that's my point. And that's the only thing I agree with Paul Feinbaum on. I certainly don't want to agree with Feinbaum a lot. I think you know that after my rant a few weeks ago.
It's like anything else, It's you might, as I said, not getting political. You might not agree with the president in general, but you got to agree with a couple of little things he might do that makes it better. Same thing with I didn't agree with a lot of what Obama did, but he did do some good. In my opinion, that's my opinion. But once again, not getting down into that. That's just the same thing with with these decisions that these coaches do, you're like going, really, what are you thinking, man? What are you doing? You know, so it goes to, you know, you're
it's
always going to.
It's like I said, this is
agree and disagree with people.
This is a non-story if he hires someone else.
Yeah,
we don't even know about it. How many consultants do you think each of these teams have?
oh,
Several.
tons.
Yeah, tons. Right? And you don't know their names. You're a Bama fan. You don't know what they do.
I
or
only
what
know
their
one
names
name
are.
right now as a consultant, and that's DJ Durden.
Because of his
It's
past.
a story.
Because of his past, it's a story. And so that's the only thing Feinbaum's right about. It's a distraction. It's a bad look for Nick Saban because of the distraction.
Yeah. But you kind of posed on, you know, you brought this up here. You kind of touched on my other little topic. Colin Cowherd and Jim Mora was sitting talking this week.
Okay.
Okay, and in
I
there
missed this, so you'll have to tell me about it.
What basically they were talking about was dynasties, the dynasties that are out there. Talking about Alabama, the Patriots, the Spurs. Even though the Spurs aren't winning, they're still considered. They're considering them a dynasty. Okay, I question that, but because they're always relevant within the storyline of the playoffs. So, and they mentioned Germany with soccer and stuff like that. Is Alabama and the Patriots and the Spurs dynasties because they're system reliant and not star reliant? Such as coaches of like Mac Brown had a dynasty going. It was working. It was going. You know, he was strong. 6-7 years done. Steve Spurrier down in Florida had it going. 6-7 years done. Pete Carroll out in Oregon, 6-7 years, he was done. Urban Meyer, 7 years here in Columbus, he's done. And that's what he said are star reliant. Those are the coaches that are star reliant systems, where Alabama and the Patriots are system reliant. Do you kind of agree with this, or are they out of their mind?
Well, I think you always have to have stars, but I think that what Saban does is that he is very good at saying, okay, here's the talent I have, so we're going to run this offense. We're going to make this work this year. He's very good at doing that. But with the Patriots, you can't say they're not star reliant. Because where are the Patriots the last 10 years without Tom Brady? They're not winning Super Bowls.
No, they're not. They're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not. They're contenders. They're contenders.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if that's what they're meaning
And they
by dynasties, is because they are contenders.
And they could at least be playoff.
And that's why that's what the whole reason I brought this up is I kind of agree with you on this. It's you know, Alabama is a system reliant. He can change what he calls what Nick Saban calls the process. He can change the process, tweak it, and it's a different system, but it works.
Right.
You know, he just with a little bit of a tweak, and he's still, you know, competitive.
Well, it's like we talked about before. How many Heisman Trophy winners does Alabama have?
2 right now.
Right.
Well, two right now, because Tua didn't win it. I did think he was a strong candidate for it. He did belong up there, whether he didn't, you know. But
Well, he
I
belonged
think
in
what
third.
really hurt him.
He belonged in third, but
what really hurt him was he only played 3 quarters, max. You know, he was taken out of the game several times. You know, he would. What I think really put him on the board is he was putting up 50 points in a half, and that's freaking phenomenal.
yeah, it is pretty impressive as far as that's concerned. But yeah, like I said, I think that they have a point. To a point, they have a point. Of course, there's another person I don't like to agree with. Is Colin Cowherd. I'm not a big Colin fan. I like to listen. I like to listen to his show so I can yell at him. And I do. I sit in my car at lunch when I'm awake, and I yell at him. I yell at my radio because he says some stuff. I'm like, You're an idiot. What are you thinking? What?
He is off the wall with some of his comments. And, and that's why I like to listen to him, is he kind of really brings out. And here I was like going, really, you're going to put the Patriots in a system? Really, what's the hell's Tom Brady? He's star. He's a star. You can sit there and say that about Alabama and say they really haven't had stars. Yes, they've had some number one draft picks come out of every position but quarterback.
Yeah.
Over the time that Nick Saban's been there, but never, so yeah, you can say they're not star reliant, but I kind of agreed with the Mac Brown and the Steve Spurrier and the Pete Carroll and the Urban Meyer, comment. Their system worked for a short time.
Yeah, exactly. So, I do feel like that some programs are more system related. I do question whether or not, like when Tom Brady retires, are the Patriots going to be the Patriots still?
It's going to be really fun to watch.
Once they lose Belichick and Brady, Patriots are starting all over. They're not going to be relevant without those two people. That's my opinion. My opinion is they're not going to be relevant without those two guys. So, but when we get back from this next break, we will, well, first of all, before we go to the break, update the Jackets, the Columbus Blue Jackets. The second period is underway, and with 18:45 to go in the second, it is still your Columbus Blue Jackets 1, and this week's hated team, the New Jersey Devils, 0. Why are they hated? Because they're playing the Jackets.
Well, okay.
That's the only reason tonight. I don't have another reason to hate the Devils.
Don't have another reason?
No, there's no player that's left and called us a cowtown like last week and all of that, so don't have another reason to hate the Devils other than the fact that they're skating against the Blue Jackets right now. It's not their fault, it's on the schedule. But good for them. So anyway, when we get back, we'll do a quick segment where we will update the NHL and NBA standings. I promised I would do more in that area. So we'll look at the NBA first. We'll update their standings, talk about where everybody is, and then do the NHL standings as well. Keep our eyes on the Blue Jackets, and the football game is underway now. And, of course, the iconic Drew rooting for the University of South Florida. Diamondback rooting heavily for Marshall. This would be a big win for him. They're 20 points on me. So, when we come back, it's the NHL and NBA standings. And this is a Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Are you getting shaggy? When you go home to visit your mom, does she say, "Who is the new girl?" Well, this is the iconic Drew, and every time I need a haircut, I go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop. There are always sports on the TVs, and everyone gives their opinion on sports. Sometimes even topics from the iconic Drew and cast of characters Sports Opinion Show. Todd has been cutting hair for over 18 years, and he's very personable. He will give his opinion on sports and anything else we're discussing. If you want to get a great haircut at an old-fashioned barbershop, go see Todd the Barber at Todd's Barbershop, located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard, near Columbus, Ohio. Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd is a family man. So if you need a haircut, do what the iconic Drew would do. Go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop.
Back to a Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And before we get into the association, it's known as the National Basketball Association, we have an update on the Blue Jackets game. The Columbus Blue Jackets are now up 2-0 over the hated New Jersey Devils with 16:47 to go in the second. Again, why are they hated? Only because they're playing the Jackets right now. Go Blue Jackets, up 2-0. All right. So as before promised, though, as you can see on LMS.Diamondback, behind me is the Pistons. Behind Diamondback is, I believe that's the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
And your favorite team in the NBA. So let's look at the standings in the association. That's what it's known as among the diehard fans of the NBA, the association. I found that out when I went to the Ohio Media School, that people call it the association. I never knew that before. So I learned all kinds of things there. So anyhow, the phone number here, by the way, folks, is 614-996-8389. That is the hashtag Saved the Crew phone line. So let's look at the standings. First, we'll talk about the Detroit Pistons. 15-14. They are 7 games back. And who are they behind? Well, the Raptors. The Raptors are in first place. Raptors are 24-9 in first place, ahead of the Bucks by a game and a half. Ahead of the 76ers by 3 games. The Pacers are 3.5 games out. And then we have the Celtics, Pistons, before mentioned, Hornets, and Magic. Right now, that's your top 8 in the East. Those would be the 8 teams that would go into the playoffs.
Sweet.
So, the Diamondbacks, Atlanta Hawks, are in 14th at 7-23, 15.5 games out of first place.
At least they're not in last.
So, no, they're not in last. The Bulls, dead last. By the way, Jordan retired a few years ago.
What?
So that could be why.
That's why.
Did you not? Yeah. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Information, right? Jordan has retired, so he's no longer the league.
I only make the joke only because that's not really a sport that I played well as a kid.
So looking at the West, Nuggets are in first, 21-9. That's kind of shocking. Thunder in second, a game back. Tied with the game back is the Warriors. Everybody's kind of handed the West to the Warriors ahead of time. Not so fast, my friends. Fact of the matter is, that may not happen. They've got some tough competition out in the West.
I didn't know we hired Lee Corso here. I hope I can afford that budget, man.
Right, exactly.
We got to watch.
The Lakers are in fourth place, 2.5 games back. And then we have the Trailblazers at 3.5, the Clippers at 4, Rockets at 5 games back, and the Spurs are, the before mentioned Spurs are 5 games back. They'd be in the playoffs right now. So there you go. They're at least in the net.
As I said, they were just talking. I think they were really just talking about contenders.
Yeah, and
I
the
think
Spurs
that's
are usually contenders.
They're always a contender.
Well,
They're
we're in
always
the NBA. We can talk about that. So, who's the worst team in the West, you ask? Well, it's the Suns. The Phoenix Suns are 8-24 and 14 games back. Not as bad as the worst team in the East, which is the Bulls. They're 16.5 games back.
So you're saying the Suns are a little bit hotter than the.
I'm saying the Suns would be in. The Suns would be ahead of your team in the East. No, maybe not. The Suns have 8 wins. Your Hawks have 7 wins.
Yeah.
So they would be ahead of them. The worst team in the West is better than the 2 worst teams in the East. So yeah. And they'd be tied with the Cavs. The before-mentioned Cavs, when we did the Ohio segment, are 8-24. So they are currently in 13th place, 15.5 games out.
The Cavs are third from the bottom?
Yeah.
What's LeBron doing up there?
Well, LeBron is playing for the Lakers now.
Oh, okay. He's not doing anything up there.
Right.
Okay.
LeBron left Cleveland, and he's now playing for the Lakers. We update Diamondback on this every week because he forgets.
I forget.
He's getting old. And I'm older than him, but I've gotten used to the aging process. Diamondback is not.
I have not aged well.
Yeah, that's true. The NHL standings now. In the NHL, in the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division, you have the Lightning in first place with the Maple Leafs right behind them. And then in the Metropolitan Division, you have the Caps and the Blue Jackets behind them.
Uh-oh.
So there we go. And if you go out west, You've got in the Central Division the Jets and then the Preds. And also then the Flames and the Sharks. And of course, Diamondback's a big Flames fan. So right now, you'd be a playoff team. Believe me, folks, we will do an entire, it might take an hour, to completely explain how the National Hockey League does its playoff system. Because
ever
it's weird.
Ever since they changed it, when they had the eight teams and they were seeded 1 through 8, I understood it. They reseeded them and it was a little weird to me. But this new system, I had no idea.
I find it confusing, and I follow the sport closely. I find it to be very, very confusing.
Yeah, they got 1 through 4, and they got another group of 1 through 4. Okay, how do you?
So yeah, I mean, last year, the Columbus Blue Jackets finished in 3rd, and they had to play the team that finished in 2nd. The Caps, who went on, the Washington Capitals, who went on to win the Stanley Cup against the Las Vegas Golden Knights last year. Well, why would a 3rd place team have to play a 2nd place team? It doesn't make any sense to me.
As I said, I don't understand this playoff system yet at all and how they do that.
And we'll get more into that as we get closer to the playoffs. We're not even halfway through the National Hockey League season yet.
Yeah.
So things will start to become crystal clear.
Pitchers and catchers report real soon.
Yeah, I think they report next week. And as Big E was pointing out to us, he's looking forward to February, I believe he said the 14th, because that's when NASCAR begins. Of course, leave it to NASCAR to start on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but they don't have a
race on Father's Day. Yeah. No race on Father's Day. We'll race on Valentine's Day. Get all the guys in trouble right off the bat.
I have developed this whole thing where I got our teams behind us in each one of these. I did not develop a NASCAR.
We should do that. Well, we got plenty of time. Well, we don't have plenty of time. They'll be back before you know it. Be back right after.
You can't say plenty of time, man, because there's a lot going on, and time's going to start becoming more precious to me come.
That is true.
Yeah,
and folks, we've talked about this a little bit. Diamondback's getting married.
May 18th. It'll be
May 18th, and he's looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Just behind me.
And boy, did he outkick his coverage. Anyhow, I am currently too. So.
Really?
Yeah. Well, come on. Seriously? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Big time. Yeah, you know I'm right. So, anyhow, to update while we're on hockey, the Columbus Blue Jackets are still winning. 11:47 to go in the second. They're up 2-0. And we'll update the bowl game as it unfolds tonight between Marshall and USF as well. Marshall just punted a moment ago. So when we come back from this break, though, we will update and talk about the National Football League scores from last weekend.
Tours.
And then later on we'll make our picks. But we'll be right back with updates of the National Football League from week 14. This is the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, brought to you by the Ferocious Money Productions Presents, and we'll be right back with the update on the National Football League.
Has your better half ever told you look like a bad chia pet? Does she make you sleep on the couch? Does she confuse you with the dog? Then maybe it's time for a haircut. Hi, I'm the Diamondback, and when this happens to me, I go see Todd the barber at Todd's Barbershop. Todd always has sports on TV and great sports topics being discussed between Todd and the other patrons. Todd's been cutting hair for over 18 years and very personable. He will give you his opinion about sports and other topics of discussion, always guaranteed to make you laugh. Todd is located at 3867 Latimer Street, Hilliard, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Hilliard. His hours of operation are Tuesday 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday 7 a.m. to 1. Closed on Sunday and Monday, so when you need a haircut, follow the Diamondback's advice and go see Todd at Todd's Barbershop.
Welcome back to the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show, presented by the Ferocious Money Productions Presents. Once again, our phone number, we're at
614-996.
8389, and that is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line for tonight. Thanks, Lewis, for calling in earlier, but of course we'll take calls from anybody and everybody tonight. As you can see, we've moved to the National Football League. That beautiful 6-time Super Bowl champion team behind me in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the 2-time Super Bowl appearing team, the Atlanta Falcons, behind Diamondback. So, but while we were talking about Bama earlier, I did mean to say defending national champs for Bama. I apologize that I did not say that.
Oh, it's all right.
When we were talking about what Paul Feinbaum had to say. So, updating the Jackets real quick. The Columbus Blue Jackets still 2-0 with 10 minutes to go in the second. So, which means that game's half over. And 0-0 between Marshall and Southern Florida. Go Southern Florida. So, anyhow, I can say that. Go USF, baby. Tonight, that's my team.
I think we flipped. Normally I root for the Southern team and you root for the Northern team, but this game we flipped.
Well, Marshall is not. I mean, they're in West Virginia.
Yeah, but they're more.
So
north
they're more north than the other team. I don't base my picks on. I don't base my picks on what state they're from. Although I did pick all the Big Ten schools this year, even Meat Chicken.
Well, I mean, not meaning to rehash what Jim Mora and Colin was talking about, but Jim Mora actually came out and said there's a lot of big dudes in the South. A lot of big dudes in the South. And it was kind of funny. It's one. Look it up on YouTube after the show. Check that out. It was a interview of Jim Mora and Colin Cowherd. I'm sure you'll find it, and it just basically is talking about what we talked about earlier, and I found that kind of interesting too. He just said there's a lot of big dudes in the South.
Huh.
I was like, wow.
Okay. Well, there you go. Another update for the Columbus Blue Jackets game. It is now the Columbus Blue Jackets 2, the New Jersey Devils 1. They just scored.
The New Jersey Devils. That's not the hated New Jersey Devils.
With 9:21 to go in the game, our Columbus Blue Jackets are up 2-1 over the hated New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
Hey, come on. I was giving them a break there for a moment. Anyway, let's get into last week's matchups here in the National Football League. Talk about these games. First game last week. Oh man, what a football game this turned out to be. Even though we didn't either one of us pick it right, it turned out to be one of the best games of the weekend. Not the best game. That happened in Pittsburgh. But Chargers and Chiefs, in this particular game, the Chargers find a way to win 29-28 at Candlestick. And what a game. And in this game, at the end of the game, the Chargers decide to go for 2 with 4 seconds left instead of kicking the extra point and going to overtime. What do you think about that decision, Diamondback? I mean, it worked. You look like a genius because it worked, but what do you think about that decision at the time? At that moment, would you have done it?
No, I wouldn't have won it. I wouldn't have done that. No. No.
I don't think I would have either. What a heck of a call, though.
But you you got to admire these coaches when they stick their neck out like that.
Yeah.
It bit Saban in the rear with the kick 6. It's bit Kirby Smart this year at the SEC championship game, fake punting, and these calls are always going to be questioned.
Yeah.
As long as they work, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Basically, the coach said. Basically, the Chargers coach said, "We haven't stopped Patrick Mahomes all night. We weren't going to stop him in overtime. If they'd have got the ball first, we were done." And he knew it. So he said, "You know what? We're the underdog. We're on the road. If we lose by a point, we lose. If we win by a point, we win. We're not going to overtime. I'm not playing for a tie." And I don't know my opinion of NFL ties. But my team
You
this
love
year.
them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. So, in this particular game as well, Phillip Rivers went 26-38 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 INTs. But they pulled off that 2-point conversion there at the end of the game to win that. And then we had Saturday football. We have Saturday football this weekend as well. So Saturday NFL, nothing wrong with that. Have a double dipper there. The Texans, I can't believe the Texans won this game. I took the Texans and Diamondback. Well, no, I took the Jets. Diamondback took the Texans, and the Texans won 29-22.
Now, did you?
We both took the Chiefs.
Did you see Derrick Henry's little? That was just a Derrick Henry freaking show the whole game. Did you see that? 4 rushing touchdowns.
That was the week before.
Was that the week before?
Yeah, that was the week before. That was the
sure?
game we talked about last week. So he ran for 4 touchdowns. That was the game we started watching here 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Yeah, so you're a week behind.
I'm a week behind. Wow.
In this particular game, Deshaun Watson was the man, quarterback.
Okay.
His stats were 22 of 28, 294 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, very good day for him. Then the Browns get to take on the Broncos. We both took the Broncos. What are we thinking? What are we thinking taking the Broncos? We did. Get a loss. Browns win 17-16.
Well,
this is my rant, by the way, so we'll need to get that up there in a moment.
In just a second.
Baker Mayfield went 18 of 31 for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 INT.
Well, I think we both went on the assumption of history.
On the road, the Broncos, they hadn't won against the Broncos in years.
The history of it, yeah, it was like.
I mean, Baker Mayfield. I mean, he is a quarterback changer for the Browns.
Yes, he is.
Before I get to my rant, I have to point that out. I think they have finally hit on their franchise quarterback.
All right.
I like Baker.
I mean,
think he's good. I'm going to call it right now. He's their franchise quarterback. Unless they mess him up like they do every other quarterback, he's their franchise guy.
We're going to see how they do it protecting him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's not, you know, that they are the 1990s Falcons. You know, with quarterbacks. I mean, they will mess them up.
Yeah.
And send them out to pasture early.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Couch is sitting on a couch. So.
Right now, I feel like he is their franchise quarterback.
I think you're right. I mean, they have found the answer.
Good for the Browns.
Yes.
And not so good for my team because, I mean, that means they're going to be competitive now.
Right.
Because once you get a franchise quarterback, you're automatically competitive in the league. That's what it takes. Is having a franchise quarterback. So,
with that being said,
it's rant time. And I like that background. This rant is going to be about the Denver Broncos in this game. This was a 1-point loss for the Broncos. They give it away. How do you do this? How? Broncos with 4:35 left, trailed by 4 points, and they kicked a field goal. They had 4th and 1 from the 6-yard line. And they kick a freaking field goal. If you go for it on 4th and 1 at the 6, the Browns take the ball over at the 6-yard line. 9 times out of 10, you're going to hold them, they're going to punt. You get the ball back with 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Instead, they kick the field goal. The Browns drive the ball enough down the field to run out the clock, and the Broncos never get the ball back. Never get the ball back. I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? How can the Broncos coach not go for that? I don't get it. In that situation, I'd have gone for it all day long.
Okay. I'm trying to find it. There we go. Now,
I mean, you're down 4 points. Do the math. Getting down by 1 does you no good.
Does not. No. Well, it puts you in the field goal range. I mean, at least it puts you within the 3. But once again, this is comes down to one of those decisions that if it worked for the Broncos, great coaching decision, Coach. It didn't. So therefore, what the crap are you thinking? You know, it comes right down to that. No, I don't. I don't fault him for it. He went for a gamble, but it is a question. It is a very questionable.
There's smart gambles and there's dumb gambles. This is a dumb gamble.
It would have been a smarter gamble to go for the 7.
Right. All you have to do is pick up 1 yard from the 6-yard line.
Right.
And like I said, you don't get it, so what? Give the ball back to the Browns. They run the ball in the first play. You call a timeout. They run the ball again. Call a timeout. Run the ball again. Call a timeout. You have the ball back with a 2-minute warning and good field position. Because they're going to punt from their end zone. You might even be able to block it. And the
Well, a
Broncos
good
win.
possibility you could get the safety out of it, which gives you the 2 points and the ball back.
Exactly. That's not a bad thing either.
And once again, there you're at least within 2 points, so you're right in the same situation you was in the first place.
Updating the college football bowl game, the Marshall Thundering Herd are now up 7-0 over my USF Bulls. So hopefully USF can respond with a touchdown here. So, but yeah, that's enough on that game. I was coming off my couch. I couldn't believe that he decided I'm going to just go ahead and kick the field goal from the 6-yard line.
And he
My
did
head
this with how much
exploded.
time left on the clock?
There was 4 minutes and 35 seconds left.
For an NFL game, that's not much.
Yeah, but you had 3 timeouts.
Yeah,
you had
still-
3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning.
No, that's what I'm agreeing with you.
That's like 4 timeouts.
That's not a lot of time out, or not a lot of time in an NFL game. Yeah, there's clock managers, but I don't think they have a clock manager quarterback there in Denver, do they? I mean,
Apparently not.
You know, I wouldn't say they do. They don't have a clock manager there as a quarterback.
Oh no.
You know, the coach might.
But I
Be
mean,
able
like
to,
I
but-
said, even if you don't make it, Cleveland has bad field position. And they're going to play conservative there. You have to.
Well,
You
maybe
have to try to
maybe
get out of
Elway
that.
is going to put his jersey back on and run out there and.
But I mean, you know, the thing is that they, yeah, like I said, in my opinion, they should have gone for it in that situation. Even if they don't make it, Cleveland's got bad field position. You got 3 timeouts and 2-minute warning.
Yeah, no,
You're going to get the ball back and feel good, unless you give up a first down, because that's what happened basically when Cleveland got the ball back. They gave up. Cleveland ran on first down from the 20-yard line.
They should have. I mean, being on the 6-yard line, they should have went for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get it, even if you lose yardage on it. You're on because you ran. More likely you're going to run the ball. You're going to be on the 7 or the 8-yard line if you don't make any yardage at all.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure you would have made some good yardage there, and you would have put them on their heels at that moment.
Exactly.
A good possibility you could have scored on that, and then you had 4 minutes. They would have had to score. They wouldn't have been able to just clock manage all the way down, because Baker Mayfield might he's still got a lot to prove. He might be that clock manager that I'm talking about.
Yeah. So moving on to the next game. Your Falcons will kick this off on Sunday. Diamondback's Falcons beat up on the Cardinals in the bird battle. I'm surprised we didn't call this that last week. Battle of the Birds. The bird battle.
Bird bath?
Falcons win 40-14.
Yeah.
Where's that been? Of course they're playing the Cardinals.
Well, they're playing the Cardinals for one, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put a lot of points on that. My confidence level, even though the score came out with a confidence
Well, I
level
put 15 points
15 on that
in my confidence picks.
But
And got it right, of course. But I mean, I didn't think the Cardinals had a chance, and they didn't.
well,
They were playing in
there's
Atlanta.
a lot of teams that shouldn't have had a chance there
True.
against the Falcons, and it has had that. I mean, the Falcons played the Browns before they changed. Well, no, it was right after they changed coaches, wasn't it? Yeah, it was right after they changed coaches. They were a team in turmoil at that point. And the Browns come out and just crush them. So it's kind of like one of these things. It's what team is going to show up today.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's sad. It's pathetic.
In this particular game, Matt Ryan went 22 of 36 for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a pretty good day there for Mr. Ryan. And then in this game, I pulled this one off at the last second. The Bills. I had the Bills. Diamondback had the Lions. The Bills win 14-13. And Josh Allen in this game went 13 of 26 for 204 yards and 1 touchdown. And so I'm going to just keep going on here with these games, folks. We've lost the Diamondback for a moment. I'm sure he'll be back. He's just out doing Diamondback things. So in the next game, we got the Bears. My nephew Matthew's Bears against my brother's Packers, and the Bears come out on top, 24-17. Mitchell Trubisky in this game went 20 of 28 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. They held Aaron Rodgers to 0 touchdowns. This is what we were talking about last week, Diamondback. Welcome back to the show. This is what we were talking about last week was, can defense win championships? This is the second week in a row they've held a quarterback without a touchdown. 2 good quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff from the Rams.
No, this is a
legit defense.
This is amazing. I mean, it's one of those things that we discussed it earlier this season. Is the defense is done? Is it the age of the defense done in the NFL? And this is definitely one of those things that we need to seriously look at. Because they're proving that it's not. It's not over. The defense, maybe at the age of the defense of year round but once you fine tune everything, defense is still going to win championships.
Yeah. So you gotta like the Bears' chances going into the playoffs.
I do.
We'll see what happens.
I don't like the Bears, but
yeah, we'll see what happens. And Matthew, that was not me that said that. That was Diamondback, not liking the Bears. I'm in a position with my family that I basically have to like the Packers and Bears, and they're in the same division. Of course, I never have a problem with liking teams in the same division. Look at baseball, i.e.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a heck of a banner behind me when we talk about baseball. So the next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals getting a victory, 30-16 over the Raiders, and we both took the Bengals in this game. And the Bengals, Joe Mixon had 27 carries for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's going to have to carry the load for this team because right now they have the backup quarterback in, they've got backup wide receivers in, they've lost a couple of their safeties. The Bengals are basically a MASH unit right now. And for those of you too young to have watched that show, MASH, that was a Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. That's what that stands for. Mm-hmm. But this team is nothing but a MASH unit right now. They have so many injuries, it's not even funny.
Yeah, that is true.
So
it's a show that has been very missed. They actually talked about bringing it back and doing it in Gulf War
for just a moment.
Times. But no, that's definitely very true about them. They're beat up pretty bad.
Yeah. The Bengals are not looking.
They have a reason to.
The Bengals beat a team though that the Steelers could not beat. They beat the Raiders. Now, granted, the Pittsburgh's game was in Oakland, but still not a game that Pittsburgh should have lost.
No, not with the way the Raiders are right now. They're once again a team in turmoil.
It looks like they could be the San Diego Raiders next year. I would love that. I'm rooting for that to happen. I think
the San Diego Super Raiders.
San Diego Super Raiders, and they could be there for one season and then go to Las Vegas. But this is perfect for San Diego. They would have football again for 1 year.
For 1 year, at least.
You would have a pro team playing in your city for 1 year again. And you could show the NFL how we do things and why we need the next expansion teams if they happen. I don't know if the NFL is going to do that.
I think the age of expansions are out for a little while. Yes, the NFL is probably in the best position to expand, but I think they would saturate the market a little bit too much.
And updating the college game, the Marshall Thundering Herd are now up 14-0 over my University of Southern Florida Bulls. The Bulls had a turnover, a high snap to the quarterback, and Marshall recovered it and then scored a play later. So, in a running play. So, Marshall up 14-0. Now I start needing miracle time. But there's a lot of time left in this game. So,
yeah,
it just started. I think we're only less than 5 minutes into it. So, anyway, moving on to the next pro football game. We had the Colts beat the Cowboys 23-0. 23-0. We both took the Cowboys. What is this? The Cowboys go up to Indianapolis, don't even show up. Killer, what's going on? I'm going to call you out right now. Lewis is a Cowboy fan too.
Call Lewis out if he happens to be still listening, because Killer
I don't think Killer's listening
decided
tonight.
he was going to go see a movie. So
well, good for him.
yeah,
You got to see a movie once in a while.
We gotta give him a little bit of a break on that.
Yeah, he needs a break once in a while from us, which I can understand that.
Well, and to you know.
This is why our women like us doing this show on Thursday nights, because they get a break from us too.
They get rid of us for a little
Right,
bit.
for a few hours. You know, mine's already asleep probably. Anyway, in this particular game, Marlon Mack had 27 carries for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they held Zeke under 100 yards. He had 81 yards with 0 touchdowns. So again, a little bit of defense here showing up. Indianapolis Colts hold him to 0 and hold Zeke to 81 yards. So another defensive talk there. And Indianapolis is a team that has the offensive weapons too. With Andrew Luck coming back. He's proved me wrong this year. He came back quicker than I thought he would. He's looking good.
I haven't gotten to take a look at him yet and everything like that, but I can take your word for that.
He looks like the old Andrew Luck before the injury, which is awesome. Good for him. Glad to see him come back. So that's huge.
I do kind of find it a little bit funny because he was a top draft pick, and now they're talking Drew Lock being a high draft pick. So I kind of find it a little bit the past repeating itself.
Yes, absolutely. So the next game we had the Vikings beat the Dolphins 41-17. We both took the Vikings in this game. The Vikes in this game, Dalvin Cook had 19 carries for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that's a nice win for the Vikings as they're competing for that division. We'll probably get it. Then we have the Titans taking on the Giants. Eldrey's New York Giants. Eldrey popped up on my screen there a few moments ago. He's gone now. But he knew we were talking about the National Football League and he didn't want to hear about it. So, Titans win 17-zip. In this game, Derrick Henry, 33 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He put out half of his production from the week before. Derrick plays for the Titans. But, yeah, he turned out half of his production from the week before. That guy's a beast. Derrick Henry's fun to watch. That game we were watching a couple weeks ago, he was just stiff-arming people and ran for 92 yards for the touchdown. He is fun to watch. Not sure it'll be fun when he's playing the black and gold, but he's fun to watch. He's a good player. And, yeah, I like Derrick Henry. Of course, the kid out of Alabama, I do believe.
Yep.
And so, from
Oh, you're talking about the defending national champions?
Yes.
Okay.
From the national defending champions, Alabama. And the Bama fan on the show is not getting the references there when I'm like, because usually as an Ohio State fan, all the players that we have in the league be like from the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
On an update on the game, the College Bowl game, it's now 14-7. The Bulls just scored a touchdown.
The Bulls?
So it's now 14-7.
And that's not the Chicago Bulls.
No, the USF Bulls. So 14-7 now in that game. So go Bulls, keep winning. And also in hockey, the Columbus Blue Jackets and the hated New Jersey Devils have skated to the end of the second period, and it's 2-1. 2-1. So 1 period to go. Go Jackets.
You're more of a hockey guy than I am. I thought I heard that it's easier to defend a 1-point goal than it is a 2-point goal lead. Is that true?
I think that's because of the mentality of relaxing more when you're up 2, because you can give up 1 and it doesn't hurt you.
Okay.
I'd feel like, man, I want to keep sticking it to them. I mean, it's part of this whole, keeping the throttle down.
Right.
That we've talked about in the past, and especially in football, we've talked about that. So
it is something that does go on. And okay, I said, I'm just trying to get a reference on once again another sport that I don't
think that it happens as much once playoff hockey begins, because playoff hockey is a different animal, but it happens in the regular season quite a bit. So On to the next game here. We got the Redskins. We both picked them. Beating the Jags 16-13. A little closer than I thought it would be. Don't know what's up with Bob's Skins. They need to... I thought they would have killed the Jags. But anyway, in this particular game, Josh Johnson, 16 for 25, 151 yards and 1 touchdown. Then the Ravens win, as we both predicted. Ravens beat the Buccaneers 20-12. And in this particular game, Lamar Jackson, 14 to 23, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, and ran for 95 on top of that. So obviously the Ravens have employed a running quarterback who can throw the ball. So out of Louisville, Lamar Jackson was someone that I thought maybe the Steelers should draft, but the Ravens were picking in front of him and they grabbed him up. So don't know if Pittsburgh was even looking at him, to be honest. I heard all kinds of rumors before the draft. But
well, they probably were looking at him and just was like, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so they didn't trade up. They usually don't. On to the next game. The Seahawks lose to the 49ers in overtime. 26-23. We both took the Hawks. This game was kind of confusing. Nick Mullins, 20 of 29 for 275 yards and a touchdown. Robbie Gould kicks a 36-yard field goal to win in overtime. So
this was a first win of the 49ers in since week 14 of 2013. It's quite a long time since winning over the Seahawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for us to get this wrong really is kind of shocking, especially with the Niners the way they're playing this year.
Well, and actually getting this pick wrong, logically we made the correct pick.
Right.
The other team just won. It's almost like the Broncos-Browns game. Same type of thing. You're looking at history and you're like, this team owns this team. I'm taking the team that owns the team. You know? And speaking of teams that own teams, the Patriots have owned the Steelers for quite a while now. The Steelers really haven't won against that team in quite a long time. I didn't look up to see when it was because I didn't want to be all depressed. Because I'm happy about the fact that, yes, that's our next game here. Pittsburgh, I don't even have to look at my paper. Pittsburgh wins 17-10 against New England at home. And
second straight loss for New England.
Second straight loss for New England on the road in December.
Rare.
Very rare for them.
Especially in December.
So lose 17-10.
Just to let you know, Todd is checking in on the YouTube channel.
All right, so, Todd. And Todd, guess what? You'll be seeing me Saturday morning. Iconic Drew is coming in because I'm getting shaggy. As you can definitely see by looking at me there on YouTube, it's time for me to come in and get a haircut. Working on getting a real job too while I'm at it. But nothing is true. Sorry guys, I didn't mean that in a bad way. But
it's just that's what we've chosen for the advertisement for Todd.
Well, I just had to pick that song. I thought it was perfect. Yeah. So, but I'll be seeing.
I'm glad you picked that song.
Be seeing you Saturday morning, Todd. Sometime the Iconic Drew will be sliding into the barber shop. But in this particular game, the Steelers, Big Ben, 22 of 34, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 INTs. Jalen Samuels, who exactly? 19 carries, third string quarterback. Third string running back. That's who he is. 19 carries, 142 yards. Defense holds twice in the fourth quarter inside the red zone against Tom Brady. Unbelievable effort by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in this game. Incredible. I was, again, yelling at my screen during this game, though, when the Steelers decide to, on 4th and 2 from the 10-yard line, kick a field goal to go up 7 points instead of going for it. You go for it, you give them bad field position, like we talked about before. You give them bad field position, and then not only do you give them that bad field position, you also make Brady drive that much further, and if you end up getting a touchdown, that game's over. There's no mystery left.
Right.
There's no mystery left because the Steelers are up 21-10. They're going to win the game, and if my math is right, yeah, they're up 14-10. They kick the field goal, they go up 17-10. Yeah. And then what happens? I have to stand and pace around the living room and watch this game because, and I'm getting ready to leave for work at the same time because I'm still working at Penny's at this point. So I'm pacing up and down the living room. My future mother-in-law and my girlfriend are staring at me like I'm insane, and I'm pacing the floor, walking around, doing all this type of thing, and all because the Pittsburgh Steelers decide to not go for it on 4th and 2. So,
Well,
but anyway, hey, they won.
They
Obviously,
won.
I'm happy.
They-
and speaking of winning, it's 21-7 now. I guess defense is optional in this game. Marshall just scored a touchdown. It's 21-7 in the bowl game.
27. Yeah.
21-7. I can't see how much time's left there. So
It is 19 seconds in the first.
19 seconds in the first. We've had 3 touchdowns. So 4
21.
touchdowns.
21-7. That would be 28.
4 touchdowns in 1 quarter. If this keeps up, I'm going to call it a Big 12 game. Because that's what it's starting to look like.
Well, I mean, Marshall's definitely the Big 12 team there. Well, no, I'm sorry. It would be South Florida would be the Big 12.
Yeah. So, anyhow, that's the update on the football game. The hockey game between our Columbus Blue Jackets and the hated New Jersey Devils has not started the 3rd period yet. Still 2-1. No scoring during intermission time. It's not fair. So,
Why not?
well, the goalies are on the ice, so it's not fair to go out and try to score a goal.
Yeah, but there's a
They
big
do
machine
let
out there.
the little Blue Jackets come out and play. And those don't count either.
Those don't,
Yeah, that would be awesome if they did.
they should do. They should.
Can you imagine being the opposing team and walk out and you're down 10-1? You're like, wait a minute, what?
They should do it as a joke and just
Yeah.
every time they would score, just go ahead and neat.
Yeah, put the score up there. That's great.
And then put it up there, and then when they start the game, just turn it right back.
Right, they might do that. Anyhow, moving on to the next game. Have we talked about the Steelers enough? Maybe. A big win for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This just in: Patriots lose 2 straight.
Yeah, and like I said, I was so ecstatic about that. Walked into work just chest puffed out. Man, how about those Steelers?
And this is by the way, this is so rare. I'm just kind of going through getting these little tiny tidbits here. This is so rare for the Patriots to lose 2 straight. This is the first time they've done it since 2002 in December.
Dag.
They've not lost 2 straight since
Oh,
then.
before I do move on to the next game, my favorite play in this game, and I have to mention it, is when Cameron Hayward from The Ohio State University sacked Tom Brady from Meat Chicken. I freaking love that play. I was like, oh, heck yeah. The Meat Chicken quarterback getting sacked by Ohio State. It was awesome.
I know you noticed the dumpster out
Oh, yeah.
in the neighbor's yard.
keeping
And of
the
course,
trash.
they had the fire.
Yeah, and that family remains in our prayers, in all seriousness.
They're doing really good, though.
Good.
I got to talk to them the other day. House is looking really good from the outside of what they've done. But they
Hired
that
Warren
advertisement
Yeah.
advertisement on the side is just perfect. And I laugh because it's a Ohio State player over a Michigan player, and their slogan is taking out the trash.
I love it. That's
You gotta
awesome.
love that.
Yeah, free plug for the Bourne brothers on that. But a couple guys that played for
I
Ohio
wasn't
State.
mentioning. Yeah, I wasn't mentioning.
Yeah, I don't mind. Well, everybody in town knows who they are. If you're in Columbus, you know who that is.
Yeah, especially.
So, on to the next game. I did want to make sure I got that Cameron Hayward reference in there, though. That's
I don't
awesome.
blame you.
And
So,
then
what are you going to talk to us about here on this game? The
defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles beat the Rams 30-23.
Rams
We
lost?
both took the Rams.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I didn't think I took the Eagles on that, but I'll take it if we both
No,
took
we
it.
both took the Rams. I'm sorry. I had it
Okay.
backwards. We both took the Rams, and they lost, and I'm shocked by this game. I didn't get to see it because I was at Penny's when this is happening, but Nick Foles, 24 for 31, 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry. No, he had 1 interception, 270 yards. Wendell Smallwood had 10 carries for 48 yards. But here's the amazing stat about that. You're like, 10 carries for 48 yards. Why would you bring that up, Iconic? Well, he got 2 touchdowns. He only got 48 yards rushing, but he scored 2 touchdowns. That's pretty awesome. So, then in the last game of the week, we both took the Saints against the Panthers. This score baffles me. 12-9, Saints. What? I would think the Saints would put
Was
up
this
more points.
Alabama and LSU?
Yeah. Did defense show up again in the NFL? In this game, wow. We have a little bit of a trend here with defense. Alvin Kamara, 14 carries, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown. Believe me, folks, I scoured the stats. That was the best stat of any player in that game.
He had how many carries?
21.
21, yeah, because that's what
No,
we're getting
I'm
here.
sorry, 14.
Yeah, he got 14 carries, but he had 21 touches.
Yeah.
He had 21 touches for 103 yards from scrimmage.
Right. Pretty amazing. So when we get back from this break, we will make our predictions for the National Football League for this coming weekend. No game tonight. First week of no Thursday night game. They're not going to compete with college football bowl games.
It's good to see them to back off of that. That really is.
Yeah. And get back, we'll update the college bowl game. We'll update the Jackets, Columbus Blue Jackets, and also make our picks for the National Football League for this week. This is the iconic Drew and Diamondback sports opinion show on the Ferocious Money Productions Presents.
So, what show you're on?
We'll be right back. Well, I wanted to say Ferocious Money Productions Presents first, and I came out with Iconic instead, so I just went with that.
I just went with it. Yeah, it's all right.
So Ferocious Money Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
There you go.
And we'll be right back with all those updates.
Left for you until we build up enough resistance.
welcome back to a Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And as we come back on this break, we're going to make our picks for this weekend's National Football League games.
We are?
Yeah, that's next. Diamondback does not pay attention. It started at 7 o'clock. It's only gotten worse as the night has gone on. In fact, it's been 20 years of this for me, folks. 20 years of this, not paying attention.
Were you saying something?
I almost feel sorry for Laura. Do you pay attention to her at all?
Who?
Exactly. I hope she's not watching up there.
She is. She's up there.
So,
Didn't you hear the music when you went
we
up?
are coming to you live
From the top of the
from
towers.
the top of the towers of Diamondback's basement.
Correct.
So that's our new location. Sometimes we have the Columbus skyline behind us. Right now we have the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers and the 2-time appearing Super Bowl teams, the Atlanta Falcons. 2-time NFC champion Atlanta Falcons. Let's at least give you some nods.
Yeah, give us something.
Give you something there.
I hate the Broncos and hate the Patriots.
Well, I can't blame you there. I'm not a big fan of either of those teams either, as you know. Oh, did I mention the Steelers beat the Patriots last week? Has that come up yet?
Yeah,
Did we talk about that already?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I figured you weren't. You never are. So, anyhow, as I'm dropping stuff over here, being real professional now, let's get to these picks. What do you say?
Sure. Let me bring them up on my screen here so I can
You probably should.
be reading them.
Wow.
So I can kind of stay with you.
Yeah, try to keep up. There were no Thursday games this week, as we've already talked about.
I'm picking a team off on Thursday, though, anyways.
Okay.
Right.
So the first game on Saturday at 4:30, these two games on Saturday are both on the NFL Network.
Uh-oh.
So, the Bob's Redskins at 7-7, taking on the Titans at 8-6. You pick this one first. Who you got?
Taking the Titans.
Yeah, me too.
Taking the Titans. Sorry, Bob. Sorry.
I'm not. I want wins. Next we have the Ravens at 8-6 against the Chargers 11-3. There's probably no mystery who Iconic Drew is taking in this game.
Well, you're taking the Chargers.
For sure.
And I'm going to take the Chargers, too, just because it's the logical pick.
Yeah. Which means it probably won't work out that way. But I really needed to. Then we have, starting it off on Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS, it's the battle for Ohio. The Cincinnati Bengals at 6-8 travel to the Browns. The Cleveland Browns, who are now 6-7-1.
6-8 against 6-7-1.
Yeah, pretty impressive records there. Who you got in this game?
I'm going to take the Browns.
Yeah, we agree. Again.
Damn it.
And I'll take the Browns as well. I think the Browns win. And sorry to my buddy Big Cass, but I think the Browns win this game. And Logan has joined the show. Hey, Logan, Logan's a fan of the defending national college football champion Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right.
Yeah, after being friends with you for 20 years, I figured it was okay to make friends with another Bama fan, that I could actually do that. But Logan's a great guy. Went to school with him at the Ohio Media School.
So so Logan never took your Buckeye tape then, because he's a good friend.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, on to the next game. We've got the Buccaneers, who are 5-9, traveling to Dallas to take on Killers Cowboys at 8-6. I am taking the Cowboys in this game.
I think that's a wise pick.
And you'll take them as well.
And yep, I'm going to take them as well. I don't. The Cowboys will clinch the NFC East with a win.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that they're just looking to go ahead and clinch so that they have their playoff berth.
Right.
So they got a lot to play for, actually.
Yeah, and the Buccaneers are not good. So the Buccaneers actually suck.
Yeah,
so
they're 5-9. So
we can say that they suck. They officially suck. And Logan's got something to say, so let me check this out real quick. He says, unfortunately, I think the Browns win because my Bengals. That's right. I forgot he's a Bengals fan too. Because my Bengals aren't looking too good this year, and most importantly, Roll Tide. So, and I'm not saying that like you said it, Logan. If you want to hear that, let Diamondback say it. Go ahead.
Roll Tide!
There it is. And that was for you, Logan, from Diamondback, because he is a Bama fan, a big Bama fan. So,
RTR always in this house.
yeah, well, anyway, go Bucks.
Yeah, you can take your pick. What side of the Rubik's Cube you like?
Go Bucks. So, the next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings at 7-5-1, taking on the Lions at 5-9. I believe it's my turn to pick first. I'll take the Vikings on the road.
The Vikings.
Give me the Vikes on the road.
I think I got to make up some ground on you. This might be my pick to try to do.
Oh, well,
that.
yeah, last week I beat you again, by the way.
Yeah, so as I said, I think I got some ground to pick up.
We both sucked last week, by the way.
Oh,
I lost 6 games, but you lost 7.
Yeah.
These are picks guaranteed to be wrong.
Yep. This is why we don't put money on them.
Well, yeah. There's only beer involved, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And only one for the whole season.
Man. One thirsty beer. It takes a long time to get to it.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions on this.
Okay. Diamondback goes out on that limb. Takes the Lions. Okay. Then we have the New York Football Giants. And today's Eldred's birthday. Should we possibly get a win for him here? He's at 5-9. They go to the Indianapolis Colts at 8-6. Who you got, Diamondback?
I'm going to take Colts.
Yeah, that's the best pick. I got the Colts as well. Sorry,
Eldred. One it's in Indianapolis.
At least the game is not taking place on his birthday. At least it's a couple days after his birthday.
All right.
So he's got time to party and just watch his team lose again. Which, got to be getting used to that. They got a good nucleus there, though. Man, if they draft, like you called it earlier, if they draft Haskins, Lewis said that.
Yeah, Lewis called that.
Lewis called that, and a fellow Bengals fan for you.
Tell you the truth, I would not have thought of it.
And he's a Cowboy fan. He likes the Cowboys and the Bengals. Those are his two teams.
I mean, you can be a fan of a team and still be optimistic with other teams.
That makes that whole division better. If they get Dwayne, I should have won the Heisman Trophy, Haskins, then they will be. I mean, they've already skill positions other than that. Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, and they've got a host of wide receivers on that team. So, yeah, the Giants could go from the cellar to the top, kind of like us being in the top of the Diamondback basement.
Yes.
The penthouse, if you will.
Yes.
Of the Diamondback basement.
It is penthouse.
Yes, it's nice, good surroundings.
Nice.
I like it.
I mean, I destroy the walls in between breaks and put up your logo behind you.
I know. It's a pretty impressive thing you got going on over there.
I do it pretty quick too, don't I?
Yes, you do. So, then we have the Jaguars, who are 4-10. I love it that they're 4-10 against the Dolphins. Dolphins, who are 7-7, and you get to pick this one first.
I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. This is a no-brainer in my opinion, even though both the teams are down there in Florida, so it really doesn't matter. But
well, yeah, the battle for Ohio and the battle for Florida this week. One of the battles for Florida because Tampa Bay's there too.
Yeah.
Best team in Florida this year, Miami, for sure. At 7-7.
That's rare.
They're the best team in Florida this year. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins win and win big in this particular game. Next, we have the Bills at 5-9 against the Patriots at 9-5. I am taking the Patriots. I feel sorry for the Bills.
Yeah, I do
Buffalo
too.
would be better off if they stayed home this week. They are going to get beat so bad. This game, this could be 70-14 because the Patriots had to be pissed about last week.
Well, they're pissed. Yes.
About the last 2 weeks.
And they are the only team left without a home loss in the season.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they are 6-0.
And they have 2 games at home left.
Yeah, they got this one and next week. Yeah, Patriots win this hands down. Sorry, Bills. Sorry, Issue. Can't let you can't sit there and root for your Bills on this one.
Yeah, I don't think the Bills have a chance in this game. So you're taking the Bills, right? Okay, got that.
I'm taking the Patriots.
You got that, Bills. Okay. So next we have my brother's Packers, who are 5-8-1 against the Jets, who are 4-10. Who you taking in this Titanic? Got to watch this. Make sure you record this game matchup.
Titanic is right.
Yeah, because they're both sinking.
Battle of sinking ships.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go against the rule of taking the home team when both teams suck.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers.
Yeah, I've got the Packers too. I just think they're the better team, the better quarterback. So I will take the Pack. Then we have the matchup we've all been waiting for. Diamondbacks Falcons at 5-9, taking on Scam Newton's Panthers at 12-2.
I got him calling them Scam Newton. It's only taken a
Panthers
little while.
are 6-8. I pick first here. So I actually hated to do this because I think I made the wrong pick, but I got to stick with what I picked earlier, and I'm going to stick with it. I took the Panthers.
Took Panthers. It's a wise pick. It really is.
Well, they're home. They
They're
both suck.
home. That's the only.
It's the suck home rule. Suck being a home rule that we employ. Hey Logan, how's the show going? Your college football show. Anyway, go ahead.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Falcons though in this.
Of course.
I just can't go for Scam.
Yeah.
Can't root for him.
So
This is another chance for me to snag another victory over you.
possibly, yeah, the Falcons could certainly win. They probably have more talent.
They got more talent. I mean,
I've been hearing rumors that Scam might not even play in this game. They might sit him.
I mean, it's kind of useless. I mean, he's not. They're not going to make. They're not going to make playoffs.
Right. Well, they're done. These
They're
two,
done.
neither one of these
Both
teams.
these teams are done. And both these teams, we had them going pretty far in our playoffs. You know, we had them going. At least both of us had them in the NFC Championship game.
Picks guaranteed to be wrong. Next, we have the best matchup of the week, for sure. The Steelers, who are 8-5-1, against the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, who are 12-2. Diamondback, who you got in this matchup?
Hate to do it to you. I'm going to take Saints.
Well, that's an awesome pick. In fact, that's the better pick. And at this moment, folks, I've got the Saints.
You got
However,
Saints.
you know how much I hate ties. If we both pick the same two teams the next 5-6 games here, I will switch and take the Steelers, just so we have an odd number. Because I would rather lose to you than tie you.
Okay, so we've only disagreed on the
Two
Falcons.
games. 2 games. The Falcons and the Lions.
Falcons and Lions.
Yeah. So if our next picks are all the same, or we end up with an even number, I'll switch my pick and take the Steelers.
Okay.
Okay? Right now I have the Saints written down.
All right.
But I will switch my pick just to give us an odd number. How about that?
All
What's
right.
it saying here? He's saying he's about to start his podcast soon. Probably wait till after the national championship game to recap the game and the season and go from there. Cool. Awesome, Logan. Good luck. Hope everything goes well. And also, if you need some help or you just want somebody to do a show with you, I'm more than happy to help you out. We worked together before and it went well. So whatever you want to do, I'm willing to. You know, I need to spread my wings and get more stuff going. So a little shout out to you there, Logan. Logan's an awesome guy. Good person.
We'll have to get
Even though he roots for the Bengals, but
we'll have to get the other green screen up and get that camera pointed.
man, the last thing I need is 2 Roll Tide fans in here at the same time.
Why not?
I don't think I can handle it. Okay, I can handle it. I am the iconic Drew. I can handle anything.
If you're going to be named Iconic Drew, you
Bring
better
it.
be iconic.
Bring it. Okay, how about the Rams versus the Cardinals? Rams are 11-3 at the Cardinals, who are 3-11.
This is a 4 o'clock game.
And it's a 4 o'clock game. We moved into the 4 o'clock games with the Steelers Saints.
Did we? Yeah.
I'm taking the Rams.
This is a no-brainer. I mean, yes, it's in Arizona, but I'm taking the Rams as well.
Okay. And then we have the Chicago Bears, who have decided to play defense, are 10-4 against the 49ers, who are 4-10. Who you got?
Taking the Bears.
Yeah, me too. Starting to look like I might be switching
And
my pick to the
Reflex is
Pittsburgh Steelers.
chiming in right now, and this is kind of strange coming from a South Carolina guy. He's saying, "Roll Tide, roll!"
Yeah. Well, as we both know, I picked against Alabama.
Okay.
In the first playoff game.
Picked it just to try to get you. Oh, I'm sorry. Pross is from South Carolina. He's from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Huge difference.
Yeah, huge.
Get it together.
Huge difference. I get them switched around a lot.
You got to flip flop once in a while.
Yeah.
So we both take the Bears. Then we have the 8 o'clock game on NBC, which I'll actually get to watch this week because I'm not going to JCPenney anymore. The Chiefs are 11-3. The Seahawks are 8-6. I'm taking the Chiefs on the road at Seattle. Oh, I'm scared of this pick. I'm taking the Chiefs, though. I'll stick with it.
I'm going to take the Chefs as well.
Wow. You just want me to take the Steelers.
I
just want me to take the Steelers. Okay, anyway, the Chiefs.
No, I thought about the Seahawks there for a second, but no.
Okay, and we have to go back up and catch a 1 o'clock game because I wrote these out of order.
I kind of figured you did.
I missed it when I went through the first time. Texans at 10-4 against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. At least they're from the right state. At 7-7. I'm taking the Texans in this game.
I can't let you off the hook yet. I'm going to take Texans.
Okay.
Sorry, I mean, I just it's the wiser choice.
You know what? I'm either putting 1 point on the Saints or 1 point on the Steelers, so that game doesn't hurt me anyway in the confidence picks. And I would rather lose to you than tie you, because you know how much I love ties.
Well, if you change, I'm changing. No, I'm just kidding.
So, last game of the week, the Monday night classic matchup on ESPN between the Broncos at 6-8 at the current Oakland Raiders, next year San Diego Raiders, my prediction,
and the futuristic
Las Vegas Raiders, which, by the way, perfect name for the Raiders.
I really like it.
We've talked about this before. I don't like teams that relocate. I hated when the Ravens did this to Cleveland and all that kind of stuff. But the Raiders playing in Vegas, so perfect.
Well, I mean, it kind of fits because they got the Las Vegas Knights. They got a soccer team going in there too, don't they? Or do they already have one?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive on whether they have soccer.
And then, of course, they're talking about an NBA team going there.
Yeah.
They're just trying to figure out which team is going to go there.
Oh, okay.
So, but this kind of really fits the Raiders, the Knights. I kind of like the.
Well, not only that, just that sound, Las Vegas
because
Raiders.
Yeah,
you know, it's
fierce. It is kind of fierce.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. You know, the Knights are black and gold. These guys are black and silver. I mean, it's a nice concept going here. So.
The biggest problem is the Raiders don't have anywhere to play next year. And
they are the homeless Raiders right now. You're hoping they're going to go play in
San Diego. I would love to see them go play in San Diego just to give them another year of an NFL team. Plus, think about that. The Chargers have to travel from Los Angeles, go back and play in the stadium in front of the fans that they abandoned, that they left. And all those fans are now wearing Raiders jerseys. Plus, if you're the Raiders, think about this from a marketing aspect. You win over another city to like you. So you double your fan base by doing that. Mm-hmm. This is a good move for the Raiders. We should really consider this. Hope they're listening.
You should
catch
really
on
think
to that.
about a marketing degree.
Yeah, I should. Anyway, so this is against the Raiders, 3-11. I'm taking the Broncos.
Oh.
It's in Oakland. I don't know if it's their last home game. I didn't look ahead to see if the Raiders play at home next week.
See, that's
a Monday night matchup too.
the Monday night matchup.
And didn't Gruden announce Monday night games when he was an announcer? Okay, now he's coaching one.
Now he's going to coach in one.
Wonder if they're ever going to trade him again. That was funny when the Raiders traded. They traded their coach, and then their coach beat them in the Super Bowl as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's awesome.
Give me 1 second there. I'm actually trying to look something up here real quick.
Okay.
The Raiders are at the Chiefs the following week, so this is their
last home game.
Home game. As of what we know, they are homeless after this game. I am going to go ahead and let you off the hook right here. I'm going to take the Raiders.
The Raiders.
I know it's a bad pick, but once again, I'm going to let you off the hook on it.
Well, I mean, I obviously will be rooting for the Steelers. That's a given. I always will root for the Steelers, but that's a tough game at New Orleans, and the Saints are probably the prohibitive favorite to make it to the Super Bowl from the NFC right now. And the Chiefs are probably that team in the AFC at the moment. So, we'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds, though, through the playoffs.
Yeah, the Patriots only are 9-5. My goodness, I'm looking at the standings now.
Were they 9-5?
Los Angeles Chargers are marked as a playoff team right now.
Yeah, they're a wild card team for sure right now, but they could win their division.
But so is
still.
Kansas City. So
right.
Because they're not, neither one of them are
at
marked.
the moment. LA Chargers could still win.
The only two teams that's marked in is the Saints and the Bears are the only two teams out of the thing. The Cowboys can lock it up with a win.
Yeah. And see, this is the other reason I need the Ravens to seriously lose their game. Because if they lose and the Steelers lose,
and the Rams
the Steelers still have that lead over the Ravens for the division. And you go into the last week of the season and Pittsburgh comes home to play the Bengals. So, not worried about making the playoffs.
So looking at this, the Saints with a win and the Rams with a loss gives the Saints the home field advantage.
Yeah, so this is a big game for the Saints.
Big game, yeah.
It's a big game for the Steelers, don't get me wrong. But do they have enough left after beating New England last week? Are they actually going to be able to then turn around and go to New Orleans and win? I don't think so. I think the Saints win this game, and I don't think it's close. I hate to say it.
It's going to be amazing to see this. It really is.
If the Steelers win this game and the Ravens lose, the Steelers lock up the division.
Well, yeah, they
and they will know going into that game because the Ravens play on Saturday.
Yeah. And the only way the Browns can do it is if they win out and get a lot of help.
Right. And the Browns need Pittsburgh to lose.
Yeah, they need Pittsburgh and the Ravens to lose.
Yeah,
they need both of them to lose.
Could happen this weekend easily.
But yeah, that's the only way the Browns are still in a shot for this.
But yeah, I'll be a big Charger fan on Saturday. Even though I don't like them moving to Los Angeles, as I've talked about before. But I will be a Charger fan.
I don't like a lot of teams that move around. The Rams moving from L.A. to St. Louis and then back to L.A. It's kind of like, well, why'd you move in the first place?
Yeah. So, folks, hate to do this, but it's getting later in the evening. It's 9:30 now here in Columbus, Ohio. And I have some Christmas shopping to do when I leave here tonight. Not shopping really, just picking something up that's already been paid for and everything. But I got to run over to JCPenney and pick up something for Carrie for Christmas.
Going to do a shameless plug then.
So
I'm just going to say Amazon.
Right, exactly. So updating scores at this point, though, our Columbus Blue Jackets are still beating the hated New Jersey Devils 2-1. With 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third. And in the football game, it's been having its moments. The last we saw, unfortunately, the Thundering Herd were up 21-7. So, we'll have to see if there's an update here on that. So, as Diamondback's bringing that up, we'll let him say goodbye for the evening.
I will say adios to everybody. Have fun out there. Remember, please hit the like button down below. Give us any comments that you want. anything that you think that will help us make this show better, to everything like that. Thank you, Reflex Killer, Todd, all of you for chiming in. Logan and Lewis.
Yeah.
From yours. Thank you, Lewis, for giving us a call. Also, people, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button below. I would really appreciate it. All right?
So, before we let you go for the night, Diamondback, what are your Christmas plans? What are you guys doing for Christmas this year?
Saturday is a day up in Bucyrus, Ohio.
Okay.
We're going to go and spend some time with Laura's family.
Nice.
And then a lot of plans for the fam up there on the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So we're doing it on the 22nd. My mom and dad are celebrating their wedding anniversary as well as my mom's birthday. My mom's turning 68.
Uh-huh.
68. Wow. 78. Oh my God. I'm losing my mind. She is turning 78.
Yeah.
And then of course they're celebrating their wedding anniversary as well. So they met in December. 10 days later, they got married.
Nice, and it worked.
Yeah.
And they're still together.
They're still together.
Baffling.
Yeah.
Compared to the relationships we've had. Baffling.
Yes. So.
But it sounds like some good holiday times coming up there. Good
holiday times. Yeah, we're going to be celebrating Sunday for our Christmas and that to really make everything a good time there.
So this is the year that I have all three kids for Christmas.
Oh, a lot of fun.
So I'll be picking up Braden on Sunday evening around 6 o'clock, and then running home to watch the end of the Steeler loss. And then I'll be getting Deanna and Spencer on Christmas Eve, picking them up at church. Once again, NWUMC, giving them another shameful plug. And need to get them as a sponsor. Anyway, giving them another shameful plug and picking up the kids after the service. So Carrie and I will walk in with Braden, and when we walk out, we'll have all three kids.
Nice.
Just have to make sure the biggest key to this transition, picking kids up at church or a place like that, is making sure you walk out with your three kids and not somebody else's. You don't want to get halfway home and go, these are not my kids. So anyway, and then Christmas morning, opening presents and doing all that type of thing, and of course sometime during the day they'll all go back to their moms. So, because that's the tradition, split the day type of thing. I get the morning. That's
always a good thing to do.
And then you split the day. So after that, yeah. But that's pretty much the holiday plans. Brian Christmas isn't going to happen till January 6th, because that was the date that everybody had available. Everybody busy until then. So this date doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, let's do Iconic's birthday. That works. January 6th.
Well, it kind of works for you.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So
double presents for you.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even get much. I mean, maybe from Carrie or the kids, but we have a tradition with the Bryan family of buying stuff for all the kids. At this point, the only kid that everybody buys for is Braden.
Yeah.
Because we've brought the other kids into the adult game of what's called the Switch game, where you pick a present. Everything's a food present, food related type of thing, and you pick it, you keep it. Somebody steals it, you pick all that kind of stuff.
So,
lots of fun.
It's a white elephant thing.
So
those are always kind of fun to do.
Spencer and Deanna had a blast
I've done
with
them
it
in the
last
past.
year. So
a lot of fun doing those.
That'll be on Sunday, January the 6th.
Sweet.
So anyway, with that, do want to say goodbye to everybody. Once again, Lewis, thanks for calling in, and everybody for listening to the show. Definitely agree with Diamondback. I want all the feedback you guys can give me, because I just want to get better at this. A goal that I have for 2019 is to be on the radio by the end of the year, and to be doing this for a living, because this is what I want to do. This is what I went to school for. Nothing against True Green. I thank him for the job, and everything's going great there. But Iconic wants to be on the air, and I believe it's just a matter of time. I agree with Lewis. Dream big. Go for it. Go for the goal.
You got to go for it. You can't let your dreams sour, because
Right.
the longer you do. A lot of people. I got a mentor. Says write them down, make them goals.
Yeah.
Until you write them down, they're just dreams.
Right. It's exactly true. It's a good point. So,
Put them in writing.
something for Iconic to do this week. Exactly, step by step, how it works out and how you do it.
Yep.
So, all right. So with that, do want to say goodbye. We'll be back next week. I'm hoping this week I get to do some shorts. I tried to do one, and for some reason it didn't record. I just had bad internet connection or something, and it didn't work. So I picked a spot that I had been using all along, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. So, but nonetheless, hopefully we'll get some shorts in this week, and we'll definitely be back next week between 7 to 9 p.m. That's our time period, although we love to go over, and that's absolutely fine. I didn't even realize, that's what's fun about this. It's so much fun. I didn't even realize what time it is until I look. Oh, goodness, it's 9:05, and look at
We got a little bit of a late start, too.
Yeah, we did get a little bit of a late start. That's correct.
So
again, thank you to everybody. Thanks, Lewis, for calling in. Thanks for all the comments on Facebook. Looking forward to seeing this on the Iconic Drew page tomorrow as Jim moves that over there.
as soon as they open it up for me to
Eventually,
download.
we'll do these together simultaneously. That'll be kind of fun. But updating the scores real quick. Jackets still up 2-1 over the hated New Jersey Devils with 1:56 to go, and Marshall looks like they're getting ready to score a touchdown again, which would put them up 28-7 once that happens. So looks like I'm going to get that pick wrong, but plenty of college football left for me to try to catch up with you.
There was 780 points starting out in the
Yeah, and I can't be too worried yet. I got plenty of time to catch it. But next week we'll update the college football bowls again, starting with this one on through everything that happens through next Wednesday, and then we will of course update the National Football League. Start looking at the playoff picture a little bit more because it's going to start coming into focus. Hard to believe, but as we sit here next week making those picks, it's the final week of the National Football League for this season.
Depressions.
Yes, yeah. You know, it starts dwindling down. Next thing you know, you don't have football anymore.
Don't have football.
And,
as I said, cable gets canceled in February after the Super Bowl.
In a word, that sucks. That's 2 words. So anyway, this is the Iconic Drew saying goodbye for the Diamondback, and the part of the Ferocious Money Productions presents Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. See y'all next week between 7 and 9 p.m. And until then, keep watching sports.
Enjoy.
We out.